Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War stream. As you guys have probably seen on every version except for Nintendo Switch, there is pretty much no event this weekend, which we already knew from a while back. But with that being said, that does give us time to go do two things. One is maps, and the other is, since we don't have anything else to really go and focus on, we can actually go and try leveling some hero classes. Of course, we still have several left. I think it's like, what, 300 hours worth of grind? What was it, 200, 300? Somewhere in that ballpark. Obviously, we're not doing all of that anytime soon. But given that we have some free time now, could probably get some of that in. I'm not sure exactly which one we'll be going for, but probably Warden, because we did just get the recent bonus for it, so why not? And most of these other ones we don't really need. Actually, if there was any other one that we might want to go out of our way for to max, oddly enough, it might actually be Warlord. It is currently the only thing with triple burning into enrage. And I don't have either of those two aspects yet. I don't have its enrage, which doesn't matter because Titan's the better version. But yeah, it's the only one that does have triple into enrage. Dragon Guard's the next best. There are some, normally Dragon Guard's better than Warlord. However, there are those really rare instances where Warlord's actually better than Dragon Guard if you're using it on a burn team. No, we might want to consider getting that up. The only real big issue with Warlord, though, is it's never going to have half mana start because Titan is the half mana start giant hero class. So there's never going to be any way to give it because there's never going to be a troop that has 50% giant bonus because, well, Titan already has that. They don't double up on any of them, or at least they haven't yet. Like none of the Storm at start of battles they haven't or anything else like that yet. But yeah, I think for now we're just going to do Warden a little bit, but there's still like, what, 8 hero classes? 1. And of course, we'll be doing a bunch of treasure maps to finish out the event. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is not too many more to go. And we're basically already done with about like a good portion of that, since a lot of these are actually about halfway there. So it's only about 6 hero classes or so, if you count the fact that several of them are actually already halfway there. But yeah, I guess we'll just put a little bit more in the Warden. I don't know what else we'd really go for here other than maybe a Warlord. War Priest, given that they just have added Obsidious, is probably going to be useless to ever bother getting up, unless we need it for Kingdom Upgrade. Sunspear is really only used for its Red Storm. Shaman, we're just passively getting up since it's the last half mana start hero class, so we haven't gotten upgraded. However, the next hero class will have half mana as well. Oracle is pretty useless for everything. Knight is similarly is useless for everything. And then we just have Dervish, which I might end up maxing, I guess, eventually. It's not going to be good until we get half mana monster start, though, and its final bonus is going to do almost nothing. We'd probably set it to elemental bonus thing, but for the most part, it's not going to do much either. But then again, almost every single one that we have left will not do much. But yeah, I guess, did the stream just go down again? It did the same thing last time. It better not permanently go down. There we go. I was going to say, the last time it did it at the 3-minute mark a couple days ago, and the stream went down forever. And we had to restart everything just to make it work. Luckily, it came back automatically. That was a fail. But yeah, out of everything that we haven't gotten maxed, I guess we'd gain the most benefit, technically, out of doing Warlord. It is almost tempting, though. Maybe we'll go for that instead. Who knows? Because yeah, enrage into triple. But anyways, that's that. Let's go do, let's see. How far is, what do we even gain as perk from this? You know what? I think we do actually go for Warlord. Change of plan. Let me change that title. You know what? We actually are going to go for some Warlord EXP. Because, yeah, why not? Out of every single hero class we, have left that isn't already maxed, that's the only one that's really going to gain a huge benefit from being maxed. And even though it's basically the same thing as Dragon Lord or Dragon Guard, I mean, it still has its benefit. So let me figure out what trait stone we actually need right now, because I didn't actually check that earlier. What's our lowest trait stone these days? Looks like blue purple's pretty low. That sounds like Kedar. Green, purple, pure red, oddly enough. If I actually want to farm pure red. Oh, skulls. Okay, let's go do skulls. Oh, because I forgot to use the, I know why these are so low. I forgot to use an orange orb on the Mythic. That was a fail. But, let's go to Zoom and farm there for a little bit, I guess. But yeah, and then we have to go do a lot of maps. And by a lot of maps, I mean not that many maps. Probably less than an hour of maps we need to go get in. And in tomorrow's stream, we're probably primarily going to be doing, oh, what's it called? We're probably primarily going to be doing the Nintendo Switch account. Since it does have an event this week. I believe it has a new hero class, Rune Priest, which we got, like, what, 7 months ago? But of course, Nintendo Switch is getting it now. Rune Priest is a pretty average hero class. However, it is used in one team, probably in the entire game, and that is for Red Guild War Defend Day. It is not required for that, but that is one thing that it's kind of used for. But no, it's a pretty useless hero class overall, especially if you don't own High Forge, because that's what gives them half mana start. Yeah, hello everyone. Hope you've all been having a good day so far. Hello, Elite Gaming. Hello, Michael. Hello, Aragon. Hello, September Black. Hello, Chad. Hello, Birdleaf. Hello, Ricatiful. Let's see. Hello, Renardo. Hello, Christy. Hello, Copermic. Hello, Humberto. And hello, Chad. Hey, finally able to catch a live stream. Glad you could catch it. When are they doing the treasure map buff? I hope soon. It's almost guaranteed not coming next patch. However, there is a chance it happens patch after next patch. We're actually going to be getting the preview, oddly enough, for the next patch next week. Preview for version 4.35 is on Monday night. Salty will be doing it. Also, she better give me more codes by then. We do have one code for the stream. However, for the rest of this weekend, I actually have no codes left. Unless she gives me more, and she hasn't given me more yet. Normally she does that on like Sunday night or Monday or Tuesday, but she didn't this time around. But yeah, I'll make sure to remind her again. And if she somehow doesn't do it by the end of the preview stream, I'll definitely mention it to her during the stream a few times. At least towards the end, so she doesn't forget. Let me take this sort of Sunbird down. And then we scold a Firebomb. Or just let it die to burn, but we'll just do that. Saves a turn. Yeah, next patch is a really small patch. We don't know exactly what it's bringing, though. If they're doing a preview for it, it should have some amount of something new, I guess. We don't really know much about it other than that it's like almost like a quality of life patch for the most part, particularly for specific platform-related issues. So most of it's like bug fixes, but as far as actual like features, we don't really know much about next patch because they're really small features if they're doing anything. Really ridiculously small. But you never know, there might be one decent thing in there. You just started Gems of War a week ago and you really like your videos, helped out a lot. Glad I could help. And if you have any suggestions for videos, let me know. Yeah, I do need to get back into the groove of doing guide videos again. I've been a lot busier this year than I have been in the past, but with other stuff, of course. But yeah, I need to get back into doing guide videos. Probably by next month, I should be able to get back into that at a decently normal rate, where we're at least doing, if nothing else, at least like 1 or 2 per week, not more. Let's see. You have 3 classes left to do, all at level 50 plus. Very nice. Yeah, we still have quite a while to go in our grind. We calculated it out earlier. I forget what the math came out to, though. But we're somewhere around 250 hours left of grinding. And, of course, every month we gain an additional 28 hours, assuming we spend 0 gems on it. Though we have been spending gems on it recently, so not as much time. Lately, it's been almost more like 15 extra hours every single time a new hero class comes out since we throw gems initially. Also, why on earth did I not take that skull? And there we go. But still, even if it's 15 hours extra per month, it's still 15 hours extra per month on top of the 250-hour grind we need to go do. So, of course, if we do more than that per month, if we grind for more than 15 hours on various hero classes, then we're actually net gaining XP. But anything less than that, we're actually overall requiring more XP than we're even gaining. And slowly but surely we shall have them all maxed. And once we have them all maxed, it's going to be super ridiculously easy to maintain them all at max. Similar to the soul grind and other things, the hardest part is just the initial grind. Once you actually get to that point, it is really ridiculously easy to maintain. Because like I mentioned, given that we're going to be buying that far in packs anyways, it's only going to take us about, I believe if we just buy up to emoji pack, which I'm not sure if I would actually bother doing that literally every time. But if we were just to buy up to emoji pack, I think it would only take about 17 hours? 17, 18 hours, somewhere around there. Let's just say 18. It only take about 18 hours per new hero class rather than something like 28 or anything like that. So, yeah, that's not too bad. What does that come out to? That's 4.5 hours per week for new hero class. Hey, you could passively get done just by doing delves if you really wanted to. Delves and messing around with it initially would get that done. Hello, Jordan. Hello, Viken. Good morning. Would you mind showing us a brown Guild War team for today? Sure. Normally build around Mountain Crusher related teams, Gorgotha related teams. What else is pretty solid for browns? Those are like the main two, pretty much. You just put a good tank and then just go into a bunch of explosions, and you put things like Corvash and Ubestead and other various decent browns behind it. But yeah, this is what we're currently using for browns. You can also use brown skull spam. I personally don't because it's a bit riskier. But I don't know, maybe we'll go and revamp our team into a brown skull spam. Also, this is actually one, I was just saying how useless Rune Priest is, but this actually is one team that I do run Rune Priest in, oddly enough, just because it does actually carry High Forge in it. But biggest thing we end up doing with this is ideally not get frozen. Actually, this team doesn't matter if it gets frozen as much. Well, it kind of does. Once we start doing Mountain Crusher, it's going to start mattering. But let's see. We'll stick to blue for now. I need to go get our browns to full. Do we have any good move that's going to get us that mana? The problem is that's going to give him so much purple that's actually not worth it. So we'll move that. He'll do a thing. I'm actually frozen on brown, so we'll explode everything. And should be good to go from here. We'll throw Corvash, then we throw Ubestets, and then we just kind of win from there. So we'll take that, get another stun. Get our oh, I could have gotten free skull. I wasn't frozen on that. But that better be enough to kill a Ubestet, otherwise we could have gotten that without it. Or with it, I mean. Let's see, we'll take that. Grab all that mess. Okay, that better be a kill. Oh, I should have taken that skull. Oh well, it's not that big a deal. Kill that out, High Forge, and then just throw in everything else. Do we skull? Skull or not the skull? I guess we skull. Let me take it that way though, so we can barrier. And apparently kill. And then we Corvash, just to make sure he doesn't get any mana. And at this point, we basically just Corvash again. That should be enough damage, right? No, never mind. But we'll just High Forge into Ubestedt then. Actually, we'll just move that over first. Take a skull, and then we just kill it off of... Never mind, just the skull is enough. Yeah, something along the lines of that. Generally, you'll almost always want to use Corvash for the most part. Corvash into either Gorgotha Corvash or Mountain Crusher Corvash. Like the two biggest ways to go, and then you just put like two things behind it and you're pretty much just have everything you need. That is normally how I run Brown Day, as it tends to be one of the better base teams. Though, who knows, maybe we'll try Tina or something again. I might mess around with it a little bit more later this stream. But most likely I'm just going to be sticking with that for now. I don't know, maybe we'll bring Tina back out. That's a pretty quick guaranteed kill. And one of the issues sometimes is a lot of people use Yagwe Tapon team. I know I personally do on this day. Actually, with that being said, I didn't even check it today to see how it's been doing. How has our Tapon team been doing? It's currently 1-3. That's not too bad. That might actually be 3-8 by the time we head to tonight, which would be the highest score all week so far, if that does happen. But the biggest counter normally that you have to worry about on Brown Day is convert all browns to red. And if they're using a team almost exactly like this or exactly like this, it's just instant Yagwe into double cast and a Queen of Time Fairy Fire into killing out your team in like one turn. So it's a little bit annoying. It's one of the other reasons you kind of use Gorgotha too. It has immune to Fairy Fire, which will make him do a little bit less damage. Still a lot, but it's just annoying to have to deal with Tapon. I'll see how it goes. Anyways, next order of business. Let's go and, where are we? Direct zoom. Let's go keep grinding these out. Obviously not with that. Get Warlord up. I don't think we'll be able to get Warlord to level 70 this stream, but I do want to at least get him higher. I actually do want to eventually have maxed Warlord, just in case we ever do feel like using him. There's almost no instances where he's better than Dragon Guard. However, there are still the very occasional instances, and those are when you don't care if your hero dies, but you want to worry about speed. In those particular instances, which is very rare that you have both of those conditions, but in those situations, it is actually better to use Warlord. And the only real instance that you would do that for most likely is PvP. Like if you were to bother using it for Guild Wars or something, you would obviously want to go Dragon Guard because of its better chance at living. But yeah, I believe PvP is the only location where Warlord is better than Dragon Guard in some situations. Depends what your team is. Yeah, we're playing Explore again. Well, what else do we have to go grind out this weekend? We already got everything else we need. Right now, we're obviously we're actually indirectly farming gnomes, I guess now. But it's not a default event. But no, we need to get the hero class grind done eventually. We are gonna get to the point where we start needing like level 70 plus for various kingdoms. I believe we need level 70 by 17, if I'm not mistaken. For when the kingdoms reach around 17 or 18, I forget which one it is. And you need it to 100 by the time we get to 20 stars, but more so 17 stars or whatever it was. Actually, I still have it up if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can find that image real quick. I'll just guarantee I still have it up. That's not the right one. That's not the right one. I'll find it eventually. Is that it? Yeah, there it is. Found it. But yeah, level 18 stars. We end up needing level 70 hero class, which I still haven't done on several of them. Though, of course, many of them that we haven't done it on are actually quite a bit of ways from actually reaching that point as well, though. But we're going to need it. There's kingdoms as high as 15 right now. And rather have it done now or in the near future than having to do it out and go out of our way once the kingdom is that high. Actually, with that being said, I should probably go double check what every single 14 plus star is right now, because that might give us a better idea of what we need to grind. So Kedar is, and all of these would have a hero class associated to them. So Kedar at 14 stars is Necromancer, which is maxed. Priest, which is maxed. Bard, which is maxed. Sword's Edge. Oh, hold up. Sword's Edge we might need to go do. We do not have that one maxed. However, I believe we do have it past 70, so never mind. Maybe we don't need to worry about it. Let me see. Do we have it past 70? I'm pretty sure we do. Let's see. Yeah, we have past 70. Never mind. So we won't need to worry about that as much. Yeah, never mind. I don't think we would need to worry about any of them. Forest Guardian's maxed. Assassin's maxed. Wow, okay, well, never mind. All the high started kingdoms, we actually already have all the hero classes pretty much maxed. Actually, I think the only one we don't really have it for would be Pride Lands, which is still under 70 barely, but we can get that very quickly. And Sword's Edge, which is kind of close to it, but it already has 70, so don't necessarily need it all the way yet. But actually, we're a lot closer than I thought. Give out some honor, make it interesting. Well, we'll have a redeem code too, but I don't know. What could I give out honor based on? So we could start doing that. I almost never give out my honor. I think I have 5 right now as well. So I did give out a few the other day. But, yeah, we do have 5 honor we could potentially give out. A quiz? A quiz on what? Not sure what questions I could possibly ask. Does anyone know what scales the troop stats? Your Sunbird is legendary level 18 and has nowhere near your stats. It's because of kingdom upgrades, primarily. Also, I really need to cover a video on that. I have it on my to-do list of billion things to do, but that is one of them that I need to get done soon. Because that question has been coming up a lot recently, and I believe it might be because of the Nintendo Switch version, but it might also just be because of just more people starting into the game, which is probably also the case. But yeah, it's primarily any stat difference that you ever see is primarily rooted from kingdom upgrades, almost always. But yeah, if you go under your, it's basically, if you click on any kingdom, there's two things. Or mainly one thing. This right here. This is what's causing the greatest difference between my stats compared to yours. And these are from all the various kingdom upgrades. What kingdom upgrades are, there's three things that are considered kingdom upgrades. Or 3 different milestones. There's also the kind of landmarkers I generally use for early game, mid game, and late game. The first one that you do, which is early game to mid game, is get every single kingdom to level 10. You do this by getting every single kingdom to level 3 or so, and then starting to do all the magics to level 10, and then going around to do all the others to level 10. But this is the first step. This gets you to mid game, and this will give you a decent amount of base stats. From there, you start working on the same order, get all the magic kingdoms to 5-star and work from there. But you start working on stars, starting with the magic kingdoms and going from there. What stars do once you reach 5 stars is you get 1 additional kingdom skill bonus. And that means this goes up to +2. And the rest that we have from there is obviously these +3s. And that is way down the line in late game and end game kind of stuff. And that is getting level 10 all kingdoms. And this is currently really hard to do, especially since barely any kingdoms have it. Currently, I think there's only like 6, 7 or so that currently have it, somewhere around there. But those also give additional stats. Not a whole +2, but it gives additional +1 on top of the other +1 for a total of +3. Yeah, those are like the main milestones and the main things that are contributing to probably a good majority of the stat difference. One other thing to consider with Sunbird is if it has anything less than 20 magic, it actually comes back and revives with less stats than what it had. This is mainly because a thing like Sunbird ends up coming in based on the level that it comes in on is based on its max rarity as well as its magic. So if it's currently, even if it's Mythic at level 20, if it has something like 18 magic or 19 magic, it's going to come in at, let's say it's 18 magic, it's going to come in at level 18. So it's going to constantly keep losing some of its magic every single time it casts, as well as all of its stats, and just constantly keep coming in at a slightly lower level. And that might also be the factor. And you would need a lot of magic kingdoms before Sunbird can consistently have it every single time. However, more often, especially if you're just running Explore, you only need Sunbird for 1 cast. But anything below 20 magic will make it come in at a lower level. Is it worth using Orb of Ascension to Mythic? If it's currently at Legendary, it is worth using a small blue to get it to Mythic. However, every other instance, it is not worth upgrading. Also, thank you for reminding me. Let me add that to the list. Things to use small blues on. As well as just all orbs in general. I've gone over and done general overviews, but I think I need to make like almost like tier list of kind of things. Or maybe not so much for orange orbs. Orange orbs are more so self-explanatory, but I don't know, maybe I'll mention it too. But mainly for small blues. A lot of people always ask what to use small blues on. Sunbird's definitely one of them. However, you only ever want to use small blues on something from Legendary to Mythic. More often than not. Small blues. I don't know what that means. I'll just save it, put it away. There we go. Yes, that's another thing we need to go cover. Hello, Spooks. Welcome. Also, thank you, Josh and Actual, for the subscribes. Much appreciated. Okay, I'll take the greens for now. Get all that moved over. Go throw into all those purples. And then we can simply switch into Firebomb. And that'll be that. Yeah, you do eventually get to the point where you use most of your blue orbs for Zugoff, where you don't really use them that often. The main things you tend to use them for later in the game, of course, is Zugoff, and normally for making sure you constantly have everything maxed. Which normally means you use it to save gems during various events, like bounty hunter, raids, evasion, stuff like that. A blue orb can actually save you anywhere from 200 to 400 gems from a various events, mainly raids and evasions. But you can also use it for bounty hunter. Especially now that bounty hunter has potions, making it even more consistent to not lose. As well as making it slightly quicker. Speaking of that, when is next bounty hunter? Isn't it next week? No, next week is new faction. Wait, what's the other event we have alongside of it, though? Hold up. We might actually have a double event. Oh, never mind. We wouldn't have... Never mind, duh. We wouldn't have bounty hunter in that at the same time. But do we have... well, we could have at the same time, though, is... well, a Mythic, but we already had the Mythic. But a Gnome event. Let me see what next Gnome event is. I don't think that's till later this month, though. Where is the weekly events? Actually, we might not even have one this month. Pretty sure we do, though. Just double check that real quick. When is next Vault events? Let me just control find it. Where is the Vault event? Do we not have one coming up? Oh, we do. It's on May 31st. Okay. So yeah, that's a while from now. It's all the way at the end of this month. Literally the last possible day. But, yeah, we do have a Vault event technically this month. But it's all the way at the end of it, unfortunately. Yeah, next week is new faction. 1 week from today, we're getting that elemental 50% start troop I've been mentioning, which is going to make the most recent Mythic decent. And of course, he's no longer in the drop table now. Oh yeah, we're currently doing Warlord, mainly because I want to get the Enrage off of it. At level 70, it gains, also I didn't even realize we're using that glory trait. That doesn't help us much. But, what was I saying? It, has a Enrage on its level 70 and has triple skull damage to burning on its level 100, which actually gives it the highest skull damage of any hero class. That's the main gimmick that it has. The problem is it has no durability or survivability, but it does technically have the highest damage output, at least from an actual number standpoint. Of course, things like Assassin or Archer could theoretically actually have higher than it just because of its instant kills, particularly Assassin. But as far as just the sheer number that it hits, Warlord does have the highest, but you have to be level 100 to have it. Anything less than that will make it not the highest. So we're kind of starting to work towards that slowly. No rush to get to that point because Dragon Guard is normally better than it. But I still want to get it eventually, so we're working on it some now. Since there's no other real event to do other than doing a bunch of maps. But that being said, let's go do some maps. I am going to hand out a redeem code once we finish out the event objective, which is maps. So I probably should go do that, otherwise we're not going to have a redeem code. But yeah, let me go do that. Treasure hunt. And to the hunt we go. Yeah, it is one of those treasure hunt weeks. Normally I do try doing these when I can. Some weeks I do skip on them, depending on how many other events there are and stuff like that. Like if there was something like Bounty Hunter or something right now, I'd probably just be skipping on this week, most likely. There's nothing else to do from an actual objective standpoint, so might as well do these this week. Why not? It's quite a bit of loot. It actually normally is worth doing it every single time. I just don't feel like doing it sometimes. But it is technically always worth doing. This is the only time ever that treasure hunt is actually ever worth using, at least from a late game perspective. So even just normally in general. And pretty much all you do is just rush through the map as quickly as possible and then just claim your loot. That is pretty much how these go down, at least in the current state of the game, until they finally buff them again. When we'll get that buff, we do not know. Hopefully soon, though. And just take whatever here. And that's map right on the 30. Gotta get it divisible by 10 ideally. Hey, look at that. We even got 3 gems from that. Look at that. Already on the gem grind. This is actually technically the best way of gaining gems in the entire game, by the way. As far as any repeatable way to gain gems, spamming treasure hunt forever is technically the best way of gaining gems currently. And who knows, maybe they'll even buff it to be higher. I highly doubt that, though. If they're going to buff treasure hunt, I highly doubt it's actually going to be giving more gems. At least very small amount of extra if it does. It's probably going to boost quite a bit of the other loot. I don't think they're going to boost the gems too much, since it's already technically the best way of gaining gems. And if they do buff it, I highly doubt it's going to be beyond 100 per hour. Even that seems like it would be a bit high. Let's see. We'll move that over. Take that. Well, you never know. They might end up doing something like that. They make it so it sinks like an absurd amount of maps. They might. They have considered that before, like being able to use multiple maps at once to increase your loot. Like maybe 3 maps at once in order to double your loot, or like I don't know, some kind of other amount, maybe even like 10 or something to like triple your loot, or whatever they would end up scaling it to. That's not necessarily the buff they're gonna do. We have no clue what the buff's gonna be. But it should hopefully be 2 patches from now. Not next one, but the following one. So it's not guaranteed that it will be in that patch. But that seems like about when they would do it, most likely. Okay, we'll grab that, take the other one. It's the end of our map. Never mind, it is not the end of our map. Treasure Hunt always wanted to go 1 map further, or 1 move further, whenever you don't want it. Will Obsidius never be obtainable again after this event? Oh no. He's always re-obtainable. Every single mythic is always re-obtainable. The way that mythics work is they're exclusive in the Glory Gem Guild and VIP chests drop table for the week that they are released. This just makes it so it's easy to obtain them, since if you try opening keys, there'll be a 100% chance that if you get a mythic, it'll be that new one. But they just do that to make it easier to get all the new mythics when they get released. However, they are immediately added to your drop table. So it is technically possible to get Obsidius right now if you open keys. However, the chance is extremely unlikely, because now the drop table for mythics is every single mythic in the entire game pretty much. And that includes Obsidius. So you could randomly get Obsidius, though you could also get one of like several dozen other different mythics. So the chance you would specifically get Obsidius, like your chance of getting a mythic still exactly the same, but the chance it would specifically be Obsidius is very, 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 very low chance. And the only really guarantee way that you would have of obtaining it would be to craft it in Soulforge whenever it pops around. One other other way that you would technically be able to obtain it would be if you wait until a Drakzoom event. However, we did just recently have one, so it might be a little while before we have another. But I don't know, they might do another one soon. But during a Drakzoom event, you can open event keys, and then there would only be 2 mythics in your drop table. Normally it'd be 1, but that is actually the first kingdom to have 2 mythics. It would have either the useless Fallen Valdis or Obsidius. But your best bet, if you really want Obsidius at this point, is wait until he's in Soulforge and craft him there. That is your best bet of getting him. Still looking to get him. The first time he'll be available on Soulforge will probably be a couple months from now, though. Probably sometime in July. We have no way of knowing exactly the date would be, because it's actually somewhat random. It could appear any time after this current cycle refreshes. And I believe the cycle actually is refreshing soon, so it could actually theoretically be in about a month. It's not one of the first craft mythics, though. It's somewhere around like the 7th or so. You still want Infernus and other stuff before it. However, it is going to be pretty good with the new legendary coming out this Friday. Or, 1 week from today. Which I guess I could start saying next Friday now, because obviously that is not referring to today. I'm saying next Friday. Yeah, I guess I can start saying next Friday. Yeah, currently he's kind of average, but next Friday he should be actually pretty decent of a troop. It's going to be the best disable option in the entire game. 4 times Curse into 4 times Stun. Into half mana start to both of them, as well as every other elemental on your team. And there's the map giving us that 1 gem. On average, you do gain 1 gem per map. You don't gain a gem necessarily every map, but it basically averages out to 1 gem per map. You can actually average out a little bit higher if you're deliberately going for green chests. So right now we are not bothering to do that. We're just trying to get the event done. Not too concerned if we specifically get gems or not. They're nice, but not our exact objective. It is kind of funny that we're doing this to try to get gems, or at least gem value. Even though I'm not specifically trying to go for gems here. But I really hope they do finally buff this game mode again. To actually make it so you play it normally. We'll probably throw at least one real map during the stream though. Just to see how it goes. But there's no incentive to actually do so. It's actually a waste of time to bother doing a real map. And by a real map, I mean like, you know, actually trying to play it normally to try to get to red chests and vaults and stuff like that. Wait, did the new Mythic cycle actually just restart this week? Oh. That means Obsidious is going to be ages from now then. Because I don't think Obsidious would have made this cycle then, would he? I'm not exactly sure how that actually works, the cycle system. Well, you know, like I know generally, but I don't know like when the new Mythic gets added to the cycle system. I believe it's immediately when it ends up getting removed. However, I only believe it checks for it if it was already in the drop table. So if it literally just reset this week, that's actually a bad sign because I don't believe that means... I believe that means Obsidious is not in this cycle then. I'm not 100% sure if it is or isn't. But I'm pretty sure that means it isn't in this cycle. Which could mean it could actually be like 3-4 months before we see him again. That's quite a while, but we'll find out soon. If we randomly see him one week, we'll find out then. Let's see, we'll grab all that for 5 times, take that over. And just get all that gold together. Grab that. And it looks like we're heading to a 50. Be able to get that. Yep, there we go, and that's all we need for a 50. Now we need to deliberately not take extra turns, or if we can actually get enough of them, we could actually go to 60. At this point, it looks like we're actually going for 60. Should be fine. Anything that's divisible by 10, as close as possible, will work out. There we go. And now we just need 2 more extra turns. Problem is, where are those 2 extra turns? Oh no. We might have wasted it all. Yep, we did. Wait, not yet. Come on, 1 more extra turn somehow. Come on, Sky Silver. Yeah, we got it. Okay. Got it. Oh, now I'm starting to take so many extra turns, it looks like we're heading for 70. Those might have been a waste. Or might not. Let's see. Or it might have been. Now I wasted it in the other direction again. Fail. And now we definitely don't have a way to really recover. Let's take that for now, I guess. Okay. Whoops. Oh well. Grab all that loot. Hey, we actually got some glory keys there. No gems, oddly enough, with all those green chests and everything, but we got glory keys. Which isn't really as good. That's what, 40 glory right there. 2 glory keys. I guess that's not too bad though, still. Better than nothing. Though compared to Glory Gnome, it seems so pitiful. The amount of glory overall value that you actually get from this. Really, the only value that it has that's decent is... there's only 2 things that Treasure Hunt still gives that's at a decent rate. Crate stones, but they're completely random. And gems, which is actually the highest in the game. But those are the only 2 things it gives at a pretty decent rate. Crate stones at one of the highest rates in the game, and not the highest. And gems at the highest of anything that has infinite repeatability. Which kingdoms are upgraded to level 10? What do you mean by that? You should upgrade every single kingdom to level 10. Starting with magic and then working from there. Normally the order is, well, there's a couple different orders, depends which way you want to go. But I believe the most common method for it now is obviously do all magics first, then HP, then armor, then attack. Because ever since Sunbird and Rowan gets used in so many things, I believe most people just went for durability, especially since a lot of new game modes use durability. I used to say attack back in the day, because one of the most important game modes, or pretty much the one that you only really did, was PvP. However, now that there's things like pet battles and other various things like that, raids, invasions, guild wars, all that stuff, you now kind of need more of a durability so that you can actually survive through those events. So it normally goes magic, HP, armor, then attack. Final one. Oh, it's 10 stars? Which kingdoms are upgraded to 10 stars? Good question. I forget what that full list is. I can go and search around the board. I believe there's currently about 7 of them. But I can go name them real quick. Let me just finish out this map. Go do that. And we could probably go claim the next tier reward as well. Probably have it by now, I would assume. And I always have to do the final tier. It shouldn't take too long. Probably like another half an hour or if that. And then we'll have all rewards. Oh, right on the 40. Perfect. Let's grab all that. Oh, yep. We already have the next tier. Very nice. 50 gems right there. And then we're working towards 8 gem keys. Once we get another 93 of them. Okay, what was I about to go do? Oh, yes. Every single kingdom that's currently level 10. That list includes... we have all of them. So we already know what they are by looking at blue stars. But that list is Stormheim for HP. Let's see. Sword's Edge for armor. Pan's Veil for HP? Question mark. Yeah, HP. So it's 3. White Helm for armor, 4. Kedar for armor, 5. Forest of Thorns for attack, 6. Mist of Scales for armor, 7. Yeah, it's armor. Let's see what other ones. Darkstone for the only magic one, 8. And I believe that's all of them. Okay, so that's a little bit higher than I thought. There is 8 of them. Oh, did I miss Pride Lands? And Pride Lands for attack, which brings it to 9. So, I don't think I missed any then. So there's currently 9 kingdoms that can be 10 star plus. Unless I missed one right there. No, that should be 9. Actually, what is the next 10 star kingdom? I'll look that up real quick. Let's see. It's probably Rift, right? No, it can't be. Never mind. I was going to say Bright Forest when I said Rift, I mean. But that's what the new kingdom is going to be associated to. However, we have no hero class. Though that new faction will make it go to level 8 stars. But it will not max it out. Let me see. What troops are coming soon? That might max out a kingdom. After that, we have Blackhawk troops. But that place does not have a hero class. So that's not happening. Then we have Bright Forest. Then we have Golvania. That one could. Let's see. This one might actually be the next 10 star. Yep. Golvania is the next 10 star kingdom for HP. And it will be 10 starable on May 20th. Or 10 days from now. Right around the corner. Yeah, that'll be the next 10 star kingdom. For the 10th, right? I just said there was 9. Yeah, that'll be the 10th double digit kingdom. That's funny. It'll be the 10th. But I need to go calculate that out exactly later on. That's going to be kind of funny if it's going to be the 10th. The 10th 10 star kingdom. But yeah, it should be the 10th star kingdom. That's funny. And that'll be on May 20th. Okay, move that. Grab our mana over there. Or not mana, but I mean our... I'm so used to calling all the gems mana. But grab our bags, the loot. Let's see. We'll take that, let's see. You did over 100 explorers earlier and not one arcane trait stone. Is that normal? It can happen. You can technically go an entire hour without getting an arcane, or sometimes even a couple hours in a row. It's very, very unlikely. It's technically possible though. But more often than not is, if you're assuming you're doing 3 wins per minute, it averages about 10 to 12 per hour, somewhere around that general ballpark. Around, I guess, 8 to 12. However, yeah, that drop rate can completely vary, and is technically possible to gain 1 or 0 within an hour, as well as 0 within 100 battles. That is definitely plausible. The drop rate specifically in Explore is, I believe it was 1 in 18, if I'm not mistaken. I forget the exact drop rate these days. But it is somewhere in 1 in 18, and you can get unlucky enough that that does not occur for hundreds at a time. It's very unlikely, but it has happened and can happen. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's around 1 in 40 for a normal battle and 1 in 18 for Explore, or somewhere around there. What do we grab? Grab that for now. Oh, so that 1 in 40 drop rate does apply to Treasure Hunt, unfortunately. Though that does mean it drops a lot more minor trait stones, though. But it does drop lower of the higher rarity stuff. So during all these treasure hunts, we're barely going to get any arcanes. Like, during the rest of what we're doing right now, we'll be lucky if we get even 1 arcane. Maybe 2. Because the drop rate is so much lower for treasure hunts. About 3 times lower than Explorer. And I say that we're probably going to immediately get one. Nope, no we didn't. But yeah, it's mostly lower rarity stuff, as you can see. Pretty much every time. Enemy team on Arena had a word breaker. Is that normal? No, that is impossible. Unless they summoned it off of something. But if they started with word breaker, that is literally impossible. I'm not sure how that happened. But it is possible to own a word breaker in that game mode. Baby Dragon is allowed to transform to word breaker, as well as anything else that does random dragon, which is basically just Baby Dragon, I believe. But yeah, it's possible to have a word breaker in it, but it's not possible for your team to start with word breaker. Let's see, we'll grab all that. Oh, we accidentally got a red chest. We do want to try avoiding that when we can. Red chest, the 3 green chests are worth more than the single red chest. I know that it makes almost no sense, but that is how treasure map currently is. Yeah, we'll take that for now. Grab a, I'll take that. Take that into a little bit more manas. And it looks like we're actually reached a little over 60. Might even be able to get 70 out of this. Oops, if I would have taken that for an extra turn, we could have. Okay, now we might not get it to 70. We're not going to have that many more extra turns here. I might still be able to make it. No we won't, unless we get lucky here. Nope, 66. Oh, we got a few gems out of it. By a few, I mean 4, not too bad at all. For a single quick map. Let's see. Too bad you didn't have a screenshot of it. Oh yeah, if it started at the beginning of battle, I'm not sure how that's possible. It shouldn't be possible to be able to start with a Mythic. Maybe it accidentally put someone's PvP team there or something, I'm not sure. But, nope, it should not be possible to start with a Word Breaker. Maybe their team ended like that, and the game just recorded it like that, maybe? Possibly? Like their baby dragon transformed into a Word Breaker on, like, the final battle, and maybe just counted that team instead? I'm not sure. Stop getting random red chests. At least drop 2 gems if you're gonna do that. Or a glory key. Actually drops 2 glory keys. Any drop that isn't one of those 2, I believe, is a waste off of it. Gives a pitiful amount of souls. I think it's like 65 souls or something. And its gold amount is also pretty pitiful. I think it's not even 1,000. I should forget what its drop table is. I know 2 gem keys is one of its drops. As well as 2 glory keys. But I forget what the rest is. And 2 glory keys actually is better than 2 gem keys. I mean, no, never mind. That's not true. 2 glory keys is better than 2 gems. Is what I meant to say. At least in most situations. Especially since one that drops off a glory key is actually 2 gems. And 3 gems. I believe it could even get a 4 gem. Let's see. I can't even remember, but it's definitely 2 and 3. But I'll take that, grab that over. Now I'm kind of curious what that red chest is going to be. Actually, now I have 2 of them. Why is this board doing so good so far? Or not the board currently, but how far it's currently progressed. Actually been going pretty decently. Who knows? Maybe we go for vaults. No, probably not. Probably not worth it. Okay, we're reaching the end of this map unless we start converting some of the bigger stuff together. So even if we do that, that's still going to be the end of the map, it looks like. End of the line. Do we grab this down? Or do we take the greens? Probably not. I'm just going to keep them as is. Not much of a point in going for them. Oh, why did I do that? That was... excuse me. Weird move. I'm supposed to go for one of those. Oh, I didn't mean it. Ah! I got 3 red chests. Some of them gave glory, one of them gave 2 gems. Oh well. Better than nothing. I think that was a 20 glory drop off it. That's actually pretty pitiful. It's not even as much as the 2 glory key gives overall, since that's technically 40 glory. Compared to glory gnomes, it just seems such a trivial amount of glory now that you end up getting from this game mode. We just got 56 for that map. That wasn't even a half bad map. Though, of course, a map only costs 30 glory. So I guess if you did that, you just, like, doubled your glory that you got from it, but still. Ever since Glory Gnome, anything that's not, like, hundreds of glory seems so small. Treasure Hunt's glory rate is under 1,000 per hour. Whereas during a vault event, you can get upwards of 1,500 glory per hour from just glory gnomes alone. That's not even counting every other drop you're getting from gnomes. Just the glory gnomes alone is the highest rate of glory in the game at 1,500 plus per hour. You can even get hours that are over 3,000 glory per hour. Well, I believe it averages out more to 1,500 to 2,000 or so, somewhere around there. Assuming you're winning 3 per minute or higher. And just spamming explore or something. I guess technically it doesn't matter what you're spamming as long as you're getting 3 per minute or higher. Because drop rate's exactly the same everywhere, it just matters how quickly you're winning. As soon as we finish out these maps, we'll hand out a redeem code once we get all the rewards. I do highly advise doing the maps if you're on any platform except for Nintendo Switch right now. Though even on Nintendo Switch, I advise doing it, though it's not the current event week, I don't believe. But since we have no other event, might as well do Treasure Hunt. Pretend it's a Treasure Hunt event, which might be something to actually do into the future. Like something specifically where there's some kind of better incentive to do Treasure Hunt. I'm pretty sure they're directly going to buff it as well. But they might also be indirectly buffing it just with things that happen occasionally that will make treasure hunt more desirable. Other than just this event thingy happening. Because this event thingy happening makes almost no difference in the amount of people that do treasure hunt. It probably has some effect on it, but I believe most people still just ignore it. It's definitely not too bad though. Like an hour and a half to get all the loot, whatever it normally shows. And normally it's gem related loot, on top of the fact that you're already gaining gems from the game mode itself. It's actually over 100 gem value per hour during whenever they have a treasure vault event thing. Or not treasure vault event, I mean, you know, whenever they have a treasure hunt event. It's over 100 gems per hour from doing treasure hunts, which is definitely good value. And how close are we on that? Still got a ways to go. Still got, what is that, 66? Is how many more we need. And once we get 66 more, that will be the end of maps for a month. For an entire month until we are forced to have to do it again next event. Or, you know, whenever we have another treasure hunt related event like this. Take there, let's grab that for now. What's the strategy for doing maps well? You basically want to make sure the bottom of the board is not congested with smaller resources, particularly all of the coins, starting with bronze coins and silver coins, then gold coins. That is basically the biggest thing you want to make sure you deal with. Also, make sure to take more so from the bottom whenever you're doing anything. You should always go from the bottom and work your way up. You should look for extra turns from top to bottom, but you should look for your move from bottom to top. Because you always want to take your extra turns starting from the tops to make sure that you can maximize the amount of extra turns you get, particularly 5 times. Because 5 times will give you, preserve your turn and an increase in your turn. So you want to maximize the amount of 5 times you get, and starting from top to bottom works better that way. But when you're taking your moves, because of the higher cascade chances, you want to try taking as low as possible. And you want to make sure you remove all the smaller resources. You don't want to waste too many turns doing that, but ideally you want to make sure there's pretty much no bronze coins at the lower end. And you eventually want to get to the point where you have no silver. And if you can somehow manage it, though, very rarely does it get to that point. You want to make sure you have none of the coins whatsoever on the bottom. You also want to make sure you condense your bigger resources when you can. One of the biggest issues with long maps, ones that go for like 100 turns plus, particularly between the 100 turn and 200 turn area, is you just have too many big loots blocking the board. And basically managing the bottom 3 to 4 rows of the board is the biggest thing that you need to worry about when trying to get really good maps. Yeah, we'll do some real maps soon. After we do about probably another 10 minutes of the way that we're currently doing them, we'll probably throw like 1, 2, or 3 normal maps. Maybe only 2. But just because there's almost like no actual benefit to doing so. But just for messing around with them. It is fun actually playing them that way. The proper way of doing these isn't as fun, which is what we're doing right now. But actually playing out treasure maps normally is decent fun. Problem is there's no loot benefit to actually doing so. Also, even if playing a map legitimately, you can sometimes just get trolled with a really bad board that you can't really do much about, even if you do try playing it as best as possible. But if anyone else has any other questions, now would be a great time. Since we're just doing treasure hunt anyways right now. Stream in general would be a decent time to ask anything you guys want. Let's see. People who grind without a guild should be rewarded as if they're in a guild. They do have PvP tweaked slightly. That it actually is more beneficial to do PvP outside of a guild than in a guild. more often than not, due to how matchmaking works. Because one thing that it does factor in is the status of your guild, like how high it is and everything. I'm pretty sure that's like a really small factor in it. But I do recall it used to do it based on that, and I believe it still does, to some degree. Because if you like look at your matchmaking while you're in a guild, even if it's a smaller guild, compared to what it is when you're in no guild at all, it's quite a bit of a big difference. But yeah, PvP actually rewards technically slightly more by not being in the guild. But I believe that's the only benefit of not being in the guild. There's actually so much of benefit that at one point, when making leaderboard on PvP was important, people would actually get out of their guild just to make leaderboard, because they could leave their guild for several days, then just coming back into the guild, or basically they leave themselves in the guild for when it resets so that they get all the loot from all the tasks. Then they leave the guild for most of the week while they do their grinding, and then they come back later, basically right before reset. That used to be a thing. I don't think anyone really does that anymore, though, between all the guild-related events that are constantly going. But that used to be a strategy. But that's the, I believe, to my understanding, the only out-of-guild benefit. Slightly better PvP. It's not even that much of a difference these days, I don't believe. Like, if you're in late game, you're barely going to notice any difference these days. Tacet the Explorer? What on earth did you do an image of? You put my head over top of the, the door thing. Also, so many old things are getting movies now. Dora the Explorer, Sonic, Pokemon. Actually, the Pokemon one just came out today, didn't it? Did anyone of you guys see it yet? Don't spoil anything. I'm not sure if I'll be seeing it soon. Might actually be seeing it with a friend on my trip. Otherwise, I'll probably just be seeing it on my own in a week or so. It seems like a funny movie. Next Pokemon game isn't until later this year, though. I forget exactly when it was. Wasn't it November? I believe it was. Yeah, it's actually my birthday month. I'll know what I'll be doing that month then. Let's see. But yeah, I'll probably be streaming quite a bit of Pokemon, I guess. At least initially. Not like a lot. It's definitely not going to be one of those games that I constantly stream. But, at least initially. Also, I think it's going to be the first generation ever that I'm actually going to go shiny hunting. I might stream that, because why not? Why not, if I'm going to be doing it anyways? That's going to be really time-consuming, though. It is extremely tedious, but I love it. I've never bothered doing it on any of the other versions, though, before. Thoughts on Rune Priest worth leveling? No. If you're on Nintendo Switch right now, Rune Priest is a pretty underwhelming hero class. It is sometimes used for Red Guild War Day to set it on a 4x Dwarf team, because Dwarf has that one troop that does triple damage to Reds. But it's almost never really used. It's also near useless if you don't own not Hiking Iron. What's his name? Highforge. If you don't own Highforge fully traded, it's almost near useless to even bother having. But no, Rune Priest is pretty underwhelming. There's not really much that you need to do with it. I would advise, unless you just really want to make leaderboard, I wouldn't really advise spending too many gems for it. But no, there's not really much of an immediate need to get Rune Priest up. However, since we are getting Rune Priest on Nintendo Switch, I believe the hero class after Rune Priest was decent. I believe Thief was after Rune Priest, if I'm not mistaken, which is one of the better hero classes in the entire game. So one or two hero classes from now on Nintendo Switch should actually be a good hero class. However, Rune Priest, not so much. It is something you'll eventually want to have leveled. The only problem is, for it to be better than Titan in some instances, and by some instances, I mean like 5% of the time or less, you need it fully maxed, and that takes forever. You might as well just keep using Titan for now. Yeah, hopefully Switch will eventually catch up. It's, its events are currently 9 months behind, and various content of other stuff is anywhere from 1 month behind to like 7 months behind. It's a weird mix of behindness. Every single thing within the game is behind by a different amount. It's kind of weird. Because Rune Priest came out like about 7 months ago or so. Came out, I believe, in October of last year, which was, yeah, 7 months ago. But the current events are running 9 months ago, from back in like August or that was the other month, July. I almost forgot what that month was. Fail. Is PvP best place to farm gold? Yes, that is correct. PvP has the highest rate of gold in the entire game. And that is always the case 100% of the time. There's never any situation where that is not the case. Actually, I lied. There is one situation where that is not the case. The only time when something is better gold than PvP, however, it's completely luck-based. If there is a Cedric room in a delve, and that Cedric room is within 2 to 3 rooms of the starting room, like, you know, just a few rooms. If it's like 5 rooms or something, like in Fangowolf, it's not worth it. But if it's only a few rooms from the starting room, then any delve that has a Cedric in it, if you use something like a gold team with like Skeleton Key and Greed and, you know, all that kind of stuff, that is technically the highest rate of gold in the game. However, it is completely random if you will or will not have Cedric. So overall, it's actually going to be less gold if you're just talking about the entirety of delves. But technically, a delve that has Cedric in it, in an early location, is the absolute highest gold rate, but it's completely random. So yes, PvP is the highest consistent hourly rate of gold. So the actual max rate is slightly higher from doing dungeons. I mean, from doing delves with a Cedric in it. It's not much quicker though. It's pretty much exactly what PvP is. There's a few thousand gold difference. What do we take here? But it has been slightly nerfed recently, because the chance of specifically finding Cedric is a lot lower now. And that's mainly because they added so many other treasure rooms in the most recent patch. Which, for the most part, actually is a buff to treasure rooms. However, if you were to bother to do look out for Cedrics, then it's actually a nerf. Like, if you're actually going to use gold teams for it, it's actually a nerf, because the chance of finding him now is a lot lower. And I believe the main reason they did that was to nerf the whole Cedric thing, because it was actually the highest rate of gold in the game. And of course, they want PvP to remain that. That's, I believe, one of the main reasons they actually tweaked that. Even when they buff Treasure Hunt, all the resources, even if they buff them up, will definitely not be higher than PvP. I'm actually surprised they haven't buffed Arena, though, to make it maintain as the best soul rate. But I guess they want people to obtain spare Shraz. Hey, we finally got an Arcane. I said we'd probably only get one Arcane from all this grinding, so there's that one Arcane. Let's see if we get another. Let's see, how far are we? I said I'd give out a code at once we get the final reward, so 40 more to go. And then we'll finally have that completed. Then we'll hand out a code and go from there. You just unlocked all of the cities in the Underworld. What is the most efficient way to get rewards? Is it possible to level up cities too much to ruin your progress? What do you mean by rewards? And generally, you want to keep every single delve, well, you want to keep one specific delve at a low level when you're doing them. Silver Necropolis is the best one to go for, simply because out of any delve currently, it just has the best overall loot. Silver Necropolis or Warrens, though I would say Silver Necropolis is a bit better these days. Warrens does have the arcane benefit, but the overall gold and resources from Silver Necropolis is slightly higher. So basically, keep Silver Necropolis at level 20 forever, assuming you currently have it at level 20. And just keep farming that, and just going quality 10 to quality 10. You basically want to go get yourself, so assuming it's at level 20 right now, get your Silver Necropolis to quality level 10 by constantly putting treasures in. You only want to use treasures when you can get a near guarantee 100% chance to upgrade it. They're around 90, 95, 100% chance off the loot. Once you have that combination, you just keep doing that, keep getting it leveled and leveled and leveled until you get it to quality level 10. And then you do quality level 10 on every single faction beyond, based on what the event is. So if the next one's going to be something like All-Seeing Eye, you would then want to go and upgrade All-Seeing Eye next and just keep going from there. But you want to focus them one at a time, quality 10 after quality 10. Then you work on level 100 Horde after level 100 Horde. But as far as leveling factions, as long as you have one faction that remains a low level, it's fine for you to level every single one as far as you could possibly go. But you always want to have one faction that you do not level under any circumstance. And currently Silver Necropolis is the best for that. And Warrens is the second best, if you happen to have already gotten Silver Necropolis up. And if you happen to have gotten both of them up, you could always just do the next faction that's coming out next Friday. I forget how good it's going to be or how bad it's going to be as far as a overall loot. I would need to go check Salty's stream again for that, because she did actually show it some. So we probably saw a brief treasure room view of it, but I didn't actually pay much attention to what the treasure room layout was. But mainly because she didn't bother clicking on every room immediately. You'd have to watch through like 30 minutes just to see what it was, so we might as well just wait for next Friday. But yeah, if you have all of them slightly leveled, do it on the next faction if you truly had to. Why is Silver Necropolis the best? It has 2 guaranteed treasure rooms with 2 additional rooms that have a chance of being treasure room, giving it the highest potential treasure room rate of 2 guarantees with 4 potential treasure rooms. Its treasure rooms are also relatively close to the beginning of the delve, meaning if there's something like Cedric's, you can still gain their full value. Unlike something like Fangmoor. Fangmoor has a 2 guaranteed treasure room. However, it doesn't have any additional treasure rooms, and those 2 treasure rooms are so far into the delve that if it is something like a Cedric, you lose almost all of its value simply because it takes so long to get to that point. Whereas the ones in Silver Necropolis are tied at the closest to the beginning. It's the 2 random treasure rooms are only 3 rooms away, and the 2 that are guaranteed treasure rooms are 4 rooms away from the beginning of a delve. Just relatively close. 3 being the closest, 4 being the average. But yeah, it just has the highest amount of treasure rooms, which is what makes it have the highest amount of loot. The only thing it doesn't have is Warren's arcane trade stones at the end of every delve, which does give that a decent amount of extra value. However, you're going to get those just from leveling it up naturally, which will probably be way more than enough. Assuming that you just going from level 20 to level 500 on Warren's once is what? You're doing that almost 50 times, right? Because you're going up each time. That's like, what, 48 times? So, yeah, 48 times that by 3, that's what? That's 144. Yeah, 144 arcane light trade stones. That is probably enough to max out everything you would ever need to do underneath that color. Or at least almost everything you would need to underneath that color. Pretty close. So, yeah, getting 144 just from naturally doing is probably enough. Anything beyond that's probably overkill. Which is why we have almost 1,000. It's why we have almost 1,000 arcane light trade stones. Actually, I have so many arcane lights that we now finally have more arcane lights than we have celestials. For the first time ever. As of about a week ago or so. Okay, should need a few more maps. Let's see. How close are we? Maybe we'll start doing some real maps now. Yeah, we're within 29 range. Let's go do a real map or 2. We do really good on these. We could actually reach it just with those maps. But yeah, let's play this map out normally. So here's what a real map looks like. I'll probably fail immediately. But let's see what we can do with this. Okay, let's actually take real moves now. Yeah, take extra turns from top, take the other stuff from bottom. You always want to try taking from 5 times from top and then working your way down to all the getting the junk out of bottom. I do see that, but I also kind of don't want to go for it. Let's see. Need to get rid of those 2 bronze. Oh, I probably should have converted those bronze together. I still need to do something about those 2. These 2 and those 2. Something needs to happen with them. Alright, that one we'll just keep in the corner there for now, I guess. If anything else, if we can get it to the bottom left corner, that's actually fine. Not too big a deal if we just get out the corner. Oh, well, I should be able to convert it out. I will be able to convert it out. Or not, wait. We'll take it that way, why not? Nice little cascade. Grab that. Another 5 times. Take another 5 times. Get a bag right there, that'd be great. What do we take? Nothing looks good here. I'm sure there's a better way to drop that. I would love to take that for 4 times. But I'd have to be able to get a bag down right there. I could get a gold coin there, but there's no way to lower that down for a gold coin. Let's take that for now. Gives us a preserved turn. Oh, into a 5 times. Nice. Okay, that works. Fortunately, got double 5 times. It doesn't stack. Only counts once. Why you want to try taking them one at a time. We have a lot of bronze coins over there. Get rid of some of them, but now we have one just stranded in the middle. What do we want? That one silver is probably going to be an issue right there. So much so that I'm actually going to remove it right now. We'll do that. Take her 5 times there. Grab this other 5 times. Oh wait, which way do we take? We actually have 2 different chest routes. Which one's better? This one, because we can then do... I know we can't. I was going to say that we can do the gold coin 5 times. I'll do it this way. So we'll do that. Get those 2 right on top of each other. Take that bag down and cascade that into the other chest. Nice little random extra turn there. We have 30 turns! I didn't even realize how high that actually got stacked up to already. That's actually pretty solid so far. Not so far, so good. We might even be able to get 2 or 3 volts and keep that up, though we're starting to run into some board issues. Let me see. Let me move that over. Hello, Bushak. Welcome. So, hello, Haley. Welcome as well. Okay. What on earth do we need here? We'll take that for 5 times silver. If you take a 3 into a 5 times, it's like you're losing no turns, since you preserve your turn and gain a turn from the other one. So we'll take that over. Got the good cascading from it. I need to do something about those bronze and all these silvers. Take that over. I'll grab, I can grab that chest. We're not really going to get much value out of it. Not better than nothing. I need to start converting these greens probably into reds. Problem is I need them to be next to each other, and they're actually somewhat far away. Like, if I convert that right there, it's somewhat far from where the other ones are located over here. Maybe I should have done that more towards the middle then. They could have had the red chest more so, like, right here, rather than, it'd be less of a distance. Do need to convert them, though, to some degree. Doing it this way actually isn't really going to help us much, but I think I still go for it. Because I need to get it there. Need it off the board already. And now we're starting to eat through our turns. Okay, we'll grab that. Nice little 5 times off the top, luckily. Another one. Get rid of some bronze coins on the bottom. Get some silver next to them. So I can't actually move that silver in a way that's beneficial, unfortunately. I guess we finally convert this to a red chest. Oh, that brings a bronze pretty low, though. And I currently can't use them, but now I can. Oh, but now we have a bronze in the middle of nowhere. That could actually be really bad. I might need to go move something around to get it bronze next to it. I need to try removing that soon. There we go. We can remove that one. That one's going to try removing that one. We can get a red chest right there, which we do go for. Okay, can I drop anything over here? Not really. Actually, yes I can. I could do that and then do this. There we go. Progress. What do we take here? I can finally get the silver out of the corner. Still gonna have a bronze issue over there. At least we don't have a silver there anymore. Yeah, we'll grab that. Why not? Right into it 5 times. I'm going to start congesting up the board if I keep taking too many turns from the top there without converting them into bigger resources. Alright, so we'll remove that bronze. Oh no, but then we're not going to have another bronze issue because we're going to have that one strand of bronze in the middle of nowhere. We do not want any strays just in the middle of nowhere, so we will do that. I almost feel like taking this not for an extra turn, just so we don't have another one in the middle of nowhere, but I know we're going to need to do something about that one bronze right there. We did not want that going low. Actually, I kind of want to take that because that's instant vault. It's going to move the bronze pretty low. You know what? We'll probably be able to do something with it. But that bronze might actually ruin us slightly. Oh, can I drop that? Oh, I can't drop that. If I can get those near that, that'd be great. We currently can't, though. Not with what we have set up over here. Yeah, something has to happen to that bronze. Otherwise, it's going to be a big issue right over there. What do we go for? You start moving all the bronze down there, apparently, to fix our bronze issue. Like, that bronze and that bronze are going to be the 2 most annoying that we currently have set up. Also starting to get too many bronze chests on this board. Okay, so that bronze coin, I still have a drop for it. What do we need to get a drop for it? I need that to move. I need like a chest movement right there or something. Because now we have a whole little area of bronze blocking up our map. I guess I'll drop for that. These bronze are going to destroy this map, though. Do we even bother with that? No. Let's see. This board's starting to get really congested. Take that. What do we grab there? Grab that. Still can't lower it. Point, I might almost be able to just get green chest to lower it down. Be a little overkill. That, or I might just leave it in the middle of nowhere. Which at this point we might have to. Okay, let's see. Go move that over. Hey, we can finally do something about it. Nice. There we go. Let's get rid of all these bronze. Finally. That took enough turns. We got 12 turns left. We're still in this, though. Oh, yeah, I can't move that, can I? Whoops. I can't do that move. Vault is blocking us. Let me just get rid of some bronze here. Let's see. We'll move that for now. Another red chest next to the other red chest, or at least near it. A little bit closer. Does this do anything good for movement? Yes, it does, because then we just get the extra turn there to 5 times. Let's see. Do we convert this together? We'll have a bronze coin in the middle of nowhere. Guess that's fine. Grab that, grab that. Maybe drop that down somehow. Now we're starting to have a silver coin issue. We have a bunch of silver coins just speckled everywhere that we can't connect. Really, any resource that's like that's going to be an issue. Doesn't even matter what it is, though normally it happens more often with bronze, silver, and like these bigger ones, like these greens or reds sometimes. It could even happen to vaults if you get a lot of vaults on the board. What do we take? Oh, so we're on turn 112. What do we grab? This is the end of our map. So hello, Game Boys. Welcome. Everything's been going pretty well. Also, hello, Gustavo. So I think we finally lost this map because there's almost no moves left. There's like, what? This bag area, this little thing, and that other bag area. All 3 are horrible moves, but we'll take that one. Seems like the least horrible of the 3. Let's see. I've never actually had a shuffle and treasure map before. I finally get one. How bad this board is right now. Alright, now we definitely won't get a shuffle. Let's see. What do we want here? Most of the moves look bad. Need to do something about all those silvers down there. Oh, that did some of it. Let's see. I can bag that. Oh no, we finally hit double digit or single digits, I mean. That's not good. That also cascaded nothing. Even though I had 2 chances for it. Yeah, we're coming towards the end. Let's see. Probably get another vault if we wanted to, though, at least. Get the 2 vault achievement all over again. Now, obviously, we don't need to do that. Let's see. Take that for now. I need to try preserving every turn we can at this point. And it looks like the end of the line. That red chest is not going to be used for anything. It was almost a waste, but I wanted to get some kind of cascade out of it. Didn't get much, though. It's not really worth it. And trying to drop 4 isn't really going to do anything either. Nope, nothing out of that. Let's see, we'll take that. That also does nothing. We'll take this, and that'll also do nothing. Every single move will do nothing. Yep, looks like the end of the line. What do we even take here? Which way do we take this? Take it that way. Connect that together. Nice little 5 times. Save us for a little bit more turns, but that's not going to get us too far. It looks like we'll reach 140 by doing a real map here. And that's probably the end of the line. And you'll see we'll get almost no loot for doing so. Let's see. Anything else we need to move here? Nope. Too many silvers. We actually got killed by silvers this time. And it's match. Unless we get super lucky. Oh, and we got super lucky. We're still in this. Love when Treasure Hunt decides to just keep constantly giving you like one more turn. I finally missed it though. Let's see what we get as our total. And what is our total loot from this? 8 glory keys, 2 gems, a bunch of trade stones, some 41 glory. That is pitiful loot. Look at this, how low this loot is for how long that took. Under a minute worth of gold, under a minute worth of souls, 8 glory keys, which is basically just 160 glory, which is still pretty small. 2 gems, which we could have gotten in one single quick map. Bunch of trade stones of all low rarity stuff that we could have just gotten from challenges. Could have gotten like 4 of these per minute and explore particularly challenges. A trivial amount of glory and of some event gems. That is horrifically bad loot, and that is why you never play maps normally. The loot for it is so bad compared to just rushing through maps. It is never worth actually doing that unless you're trying for that achievement to get 2 volts. That's the only time you ever bother playing a map for real. Any other instance is a waste of time unless you're just doing it for fun. And that's why we play maps like this. At least until they eventually buff it. They would have to greatly buff red chests and vaults for it to actually be worth playing maps normally. They could 10 times their loot and it might not even be worth playing treasure maps normally. Like just add 10 times more value to every red chest and every vault. And it might still be better doing what we're doing right now. Just because it's really time consuming to play maps normally. Relative to at least the loot you get. Look at that, we probably got more. Look at that! We matched the gems. Got basically the same amount of gold. Slightly lower on souls, but pretty much the same. Obviously less trade stones, but look at that. Within 1 minute, we almost got like half the value of a 10-minute map. Oh, so we should almost have all the event gems at this point, since we just got like 100 or since we got 14 simultaneously. I think we only need like what, 29 more. So now we need like I think about 10 more, about a dozen or so. Oops, that's not the move I wanted. Though I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Let's see, move that over. Plus, you still get really lucky maps sometimes, even if you just take random stuff. And there we go. And another 2 gems. Very nice. Like, I should just need another 4 maps if we can keep that up. Or 3 maps, I mean. Okay, what does that bring our turns to? 30. So let's see what it is in 2 more maps. If we can get both of these above 30, we should pretty much be there. Do like 1 map after that. Also, we consistently got 2 gems 4 maps in a row. Even on the one that went very far to 140, 142, whatever it was. Yeah, in early game, the loot would be okay from actually playing out maps normally. But it's basically prior to owning any armor. If you own Death Knight armor, or if you own Dragon armor or Celestial armor, you pretty much never do maps ever again. And that's pretty early that you can end up getting that. You can get that within your 2nd week of playing. Or even your 1st, depending on how much you play. But once you have one of the armors, it's basically pointless to do treasure hunt anymore. Because that armor bonus does not apply in treasure hunts. Your VIP bonuses don't, your armor bonus doesn't, your pet bonuses doesn't, nothing does. There's not a single bonus that applies to this game mode. It's one of the other reasons why it's so far behind on loot compared to PvP and stuff. Not a single one works here. One more map like that, and that should be completion. And seriously, what's with that? 5 maps in a row with 2 gems. That's actually way above average. If we could maintain that forever, that'd be over 120 gems per hour. Though it's very unlikely we would maintain that. That would take an absurd amount of luck to get 2 literally every single time. Though it's technically possible. Unless we're gonna need another map after this. It's not gonna get far enough. This one's definitely not gonna be 2. There's not actually a 0% chance because we don't have any green chests. Oh wait, never mind, we did have a green chest. Yeah, 1's about the average per map. 1 gem per map. Assuming a rush method. And you can complete about 55 maps in an hour by doing this exact method we're using right now. It's technically possible to do about 60, however, you have to be really quick with your movement. And it should be the final map. And then we can stop doing maps for a month. Let's see. Actually, until I need to do it on a Nintendo Switch account, that is. It's definitely always worth, regardless of what point you are in the game, to do treasure hunt when it's the event. However, when it's not the event, it's pretty much only do it if you don't have an armor yet. Oops, I almost just took those greens. That would have devalued it so much. That would have not been good. Definitely way better value having those as a bunch of chests. There we go. And right on 69. And with 2 gems, right? Yeah, oh no, 3 gems. That made up for the one that we got 1 gem on. So I actually did average 2 gems on those final ones. Oh, we didn't even need that map. But there we go. 8 gem keys. Very nice. Yep, so that's our loot. And we got several hundred gems along the way and some gem keys. There we go. And a bunch of other useless loot. But that's treasure hunt. And I did say I'd hand out a code once we completed that. So, yeah, let me go hand out a code. Let me go get that. This is also the last code I have this weekend. Salty did not give me more. So, unfortunately, I do not have more for the rest of this weekend. Unless she gives me more randomly. But I don't believe she's back in the office till Monday. So, or Sunday night, I should say. So, unfortunately, no codes for this weekend, most likely. But that's the final one we have. So, enjoy it. Of course, use it on gemsofwar.com. Reach the game code section, or simply click that link. Your invite code's found in your settings menu. Whatever your game says there. Redeem code's right over there in chat. Just copy paste the random letters right there. And give same loot as always. That's not it. Right over here. Give same loot as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Enjoy. Also, do we have a task for that? No, we did not. Let's see. Now do we have a task for it? No, we did not. That didn't help. Oh, I should have repicked one of the other ones. Whoops. But, oh well. I didn't realize we still had some useless ones down there. But anyways, let's go and go on the other grind. And that was get Warlord leveled more, while also getting trait stones we need. Go over to Drock Zoom. Get back those brown purples that I forgot to use an orb on, and go from there. I'm in widescreen now? How am I in widescreen? Stream's still set up as normal? Or do you mean you have it on a TV now? Let's see. We'll take that. And down it goes. Oh, so that reminds me, in a couple of weeks will be the first time I ever get to do gaming on a 4K TV. I've actually never really used a 4K TV before, just because I don't really feel it doesn't really seem like it's worth it, since they're so expensive. Like when I end up getting a basic TV just for doing the Nintendo Switch and everything, I just have it at 1080p, because never would we ever really need quality higher than that, and I don't know, it seems decent. It's basically like the gigantic monitor. Plus it was pretty cheap, it was just a little over 100 for 32-inch. It's amazing how cheap TVs have gotten over the years. At least like for like basic quality ones. Like obviously the like absolute max quality ones are like still ridiculously expensive, but normal ones are like dirt cheap these days relative to inflation. We take here. Let's go for that in 2. I didn't even take all that mess. We should just firebombed immediately. There we go, and just throw a sunbird down. Okay, we'll do a grab here. Let's get a sunbird in there, and that's already match. If anyone still has any other questions or anything you want me to go over, let me know, and I'll make sure to do so. How's that Warlord doing? I think we have it at 56 right now. I want that. Hey, Celestial. I want at minimum get it to 60 if we can. We should be able to manage. Given the rate that we're currently getting at, I don't see why not, because we're probably almost at 57 at this point. Why did I take that? We already had to kill. Oh, never mind. Well, not quite. We'll do that. Ooh, that's even worse. Ooh, okay, good. It died to burn. There we go. Oh, that's funny. We have burn every single time we kill an enemy, don't we? I forgot about that. That's actually decent. Not too many trees have that. At least not on relevant hero classes. But yeah, burn a random enemy when an ally dies. Oh, sorry, when an ally dies. Oh, that's somewhat relevant too, though. Because Firebomb dying is an ally dying, and Sunbird dying is an ally dying. So both Firebomb and Sunbird will burn them when we cast them. It's cool. Also, what's with all the gnomes? It almost feels like a vault event. We're not actually getting vault keys, but we're a decent amount of gnomes. Oh, that was, oops. I thought that was a glory gnome. That was a jewel gnome. Whoops. That is useless. That is pure useless. How good is Obsidius? Is it in top 10? As of next Friday, yes. It'll be in top 10. Probably around 6 or 7. Obsidius is decent. As of this current moment, it's average. Like in the middle of the pack, around like 15 or so. But starting next Friday, it's around 6 or 7. It'll be used for the best Trait Stone Disable team in the entire game, which will be 4 times Curse into 4 times Stun, while also having 50% Mana Start on both of them, as well as any other Elementals. But it is insanely good with the new Legend that's coming out on next Friday. And the Legend is pretty much free because it comes off of shards. The only hard part is getting Obsidius, of course. Why don't I go down to 2 times speed in Guild Wars so you don't make mistakes as much? Oh no, I'm just so used to 4 times speed that I almost make more mistakes on 2 times speed. Even though it's easier to see everything, I'm just so used to 4 times speed that it throws me off whenever I do it on anything slower than that. That's mainly why. Because we've tried to in the past and it didn't really make much of a difference at all. Hey, Warlord level 57. 3 more levels to go. Yeah, we'll go get it to level 60 to stream and call it from there. That'll be our main goal, I guess, for now. I do eventually want to have it maxed. No immediate rush, but not going to get any closer if we never grind for it. Because I'm definitely not going to be spending gems on it, that's for sure. I'm only ever going to spend gems. If I'm going to bother spending gems on hero classes, I'm only going to do it on new hero classes because of the emoji pack and the little portrait thingy. Because we were going to have to buy those anyways eventually for full completion. Might as well do it while gaining some EXP towards a newer hero class if we're going to bother spending for EXP anyways. Because repeat events do not have any of those stuff on it. Also, we still technically don't have everything. Well, there's two things that we're missing. We're missing the Warrant's pet, but that's we're deliberately not having. But one other thing that we're actually missing for full completion is... let me grab that tribute. If it'll let me. Hello. Come on, game. But the other thing we're missing is I did skip over one of the packs. One of the emoji packs, because it didn't seem like it was worth getting for how much extra gems it was. I forgot what event that actually was. I believe it was Rage? Invasions? Bounty? No, it couldn't have been Bounty. What event was it, actually? I should forget now. But there was one of them that I skipped. It was the one with that one bear paw thing. Also, seriously, game, what are you doing? Why is it in an endless loading screen? Just want to take my tributes. Let me take my tributes. And that was a good water break. Seriously, what's it doing? No, I do not have the Google Droid Bot pet, nor do I have the Steam pet. But most people don't consider those as actual completion, because it would cost $100 to obtain those. So I still didn't actually ask them, though. Maybe I'll go ask them if I can get them for free and just cover a video on it. But no, they're technically not required for full completion. Also, the max prestige pet also is not technically required for max completion. Anything that's not normally visible when you click on owned is not required for full completion. I guess technically they're required, but they're not actually required. Also, why on earth are we in an endless loading screen? Fine, I'll just restart the game. Hey, let me go restart the game then. Not sure what's up with it, but it just randomly wanted to go to endless loading screen for no purpose whatsoever. Let me go relaunch it. Also, we're coming close to the 10,000 hour mark. 10,000 hours in Gems of War. In 4 years? 4.5 years. Almost 5 years, right? When did it come out? It came out end of 2014, right? Yeah, so that would be 5 years then. By the 6 months from now. So it's 4.5. But anyways. Actually, technically we already have over 10,000 if you count. Actually, if you count every account we've ever played. And if you count videos and everything else as well, then it's way over that. But there we go, there's our tribute. And there was one other thing I wanted to go do right now, and now I completely forgot what it was. I came out here for something other than tribute, but now I forgot what that was. I think I was gonna go show that we own everything. I don't know. I don't think that was what I was gonna do. But yeah, we're not missing any troops. We're not missing any weapons. And if we click on owned on this, it should only show the bunny. But yeah, there are technically 2 more pets on top of that. But no one really counts that for full completion, because it's $100 to do so, and that's just pay to win. Pay to win full completion. No, they're just completely cosmetic pets that are completely optional. I haven't seen a single person even using that Steam pet. We could click on like every single person here and probably not see it. But yeah, I haven't seen it a single time. That $50 Steam pet. Almost no one in the game owns it because it's a waste of money. Same as the droid pet. I haven't seen anyone with either of them actually. And as you can see, we're still not finding any. I'm trying to take the higher levels because they'd be more likely to have it compared to a lower level, obviously. But no, I haven't seen anyone with either of them because they're really overpriced. People might go for them once they go down in price. Like if those packs were like $20, people might go for it. Even at 25, people might. But at 50, it is just too much. Oh yeah, 10 hours listed on Steam. Yeah, that's what I was somewhat talking about. I wasn't going to show that though. We showed it many times. I guess we could show it. Let's see. If I bring this up, doesn't that actually show it? Yeah, 9,166 hours. You can see it right there. There you go. We're getting there. Got another, after this weekend, there'll be another 800 hours to go, pretty much. Actually, it'll be a little bit longer than that, but, yeah, like another 850 hours to go. Hello, F2H Actual. Welcome. What do we grab here? We'll take that. And throw into Sunbird. Yeah, tomorrow's stream we're almost entirely going to be playing Nintendo Switch account, I believe. Simply because we're going to have almost nothing else left to do on this account other than, you know, if we want to grind hero classes. That I'm mostly going to be doing off stream, other than today. Who knows? Hopefully we can get this to level 70 by the end of this weekend. Not sure if we're actually going to do that, though. Again, I'm not in any rush to get it up. I want to work towards it, but I'm not trying to power level it, that's for sure. Poking at it slightly. Has stuck on loading because of reasons. You know, sometimes the game likes to do weird things for no reason whatsoever. Anyone else can't connect to gemsofwar.com? I was on the forum earlier. Let me see. Though the forum was a little bit broken when I was trying to refresh it, I did notice. Let's see. Yeah, it is doing a weird loading screen. It says the site cannot be reached. Let me see if Gems of War forum works. Oh, never mind. That's not the forum. Let's see. Does the redeem code section work? Yeah, redeem code section works. Let's see. I don't have a link currently set up to forum. Okay, let me go grab a forum link. Where'd it go? No, I have one somewhere here. There we go. That'll work. Yeah, the forum is still slightly broken as well. I noticed that earlier. I thought that was just my computer being weird and not loading it. But no, it's still broken, like some of the assets in the background and stuff. And the main website doesn't even seem to be up. So something's up with that. But of course, none of the devs are around. Unfortunately. One of the reasons why we don't have codes from Salty. Did the link change? My link still works. Gamecode.gemsofwar.com works. Oh, never mind. It used to be gemsofwar.com/gamecode. That's weird. I didn't notice that. But yeah, the forum's working for me. Like, here's the forum link. Let's see if this works. This link should work. Like, the page is... The assets on it are looking really weird because they're not loading. But the page itself is loading. Like, check if that link works. But, it seems to be working for me. The assets are broken. But, it's functioning. But yeah, it seems like their website's down, though. Like their normal website, the one that almost no one uses. The normal website that no one uses anymore. I think when the game first started, it was used for the first like several months, but then ever since they added that new forum, like no one ever used the website ever again, because the new forum was actually pretty solid compared to their old forum. Oh, the burn didn't apply to him. On Switch, what is the best way to delve? There's currently only 2 delves on Switch, and that is, of course, Warrens and All-Seeing Eye. Best way to delve is spam level 20 Warrens over and over again. And just basically do that forever. Or at least until we get more options. Until faction events start actually occurring. Because faction events don't even occur yet on Nintendo Switch. Factions didn't come into the game until stream, stop falling. I'm back stream, there it is. Anyways, faction events didn't start coming into the game until August of last year. And until like the end of August when Cinema Mirage came out. And currently the event system on Nintendo Switch is still back in like July or so. So it could be another month before we even start seeing faction events on Nintendo Switch. But as it currently stands, Hall of Guardians at level 20 is the better option for now. I just keep spamming that out. And for your team, you can use something like just a Gargoyle into the mana accumulation. That alone can solo the entire delve. And Gargoyle you get from using shards on your on the portal for Hall of Guardians. And prior to that, you could just use whatever your normal, or you know, anything that you have that's strong underneath Browns. Worst comes to worst, you could solo it all just with Mank. But ideally something else that's slightly quicker than that until you have Gargoyle. And then just solo it all with Gargoyle into mana accumulation. Generally, you cast Gargoyle on 2nd slot, then 4th slot, and then you win. Normally how it goes down. Plays the same way that Ketris does, except it also gains mana. If you need to use the Gems of War forum, click on that link that I just posted. The most recent one in chat. That one still reaches the forum. Because the website's currently down for whatever reason. But the forum's still up. Kind of. The assets are broken, but that link still works. Is Rune Priest class any good? No. It's actually pretty bad. It's only really used for Guild War Red Day. And very occasionally with fully traded High Forge. But, no, it's not really worth going out of your way for. You're much better off just using Max Titan. And the problem with Rune Priest, too, is it doesn't gain its full benefit until level to 100, which takes forever. Whereas many other hero classes, you only need to get to, like, 70 before it's viable. Though, with Rune Priest just being released, that does mean a pretty decent hero class is coming soon to Nintendo Switch. I believe it's 1 or 2 hero classes from now, which means like 1 or 2 months from now. But Thief hero class is very soon. It's the second best hero class in the game, with pretty much the best weapon of any hero class in the game, depending on how you look at it, Skeleton Key. It's that gold farming weapon that made gold farming in general decent. But no, Rune Priest is pretty underwhelming. I don't even consider it as one of the Titan-like classes, just because all the other Titan-like classes are vastly superior to it. I say that, but I do use it for Brown Guild War, actually. It's kind of funny. I use it for mainly 2 things. The 2 things I mentioned earlier. But I use it for currently Brown Guild War. I use it in this team just because it uses High Forge and it just synergizes decently for this day. And ends up still getting its Browns, still has the spell, still has a barrier at start, and some other things that kind of make it work. But yeah, for the most part, you don't really use it. And the only other thing you really use it for, if you're going to bother, is Red Defend Day. For this pretty notorious team. Running it with Lord Ironbeard. Hero using some kind of weapon. You normally wouldn't have Trickster Shot. But, yeah, Trickster Shot would work. Lady Ironbeard and High Forge. But anyways. Where were we? Grab all that. Backspace. Next order of business. Go to leveling this more. Where were we? Dark Zoom. Explore. What do I consider to be the Titan-like classes? There are 3 of them. There's Titan, obviously. There's Sentinel, which is the skull version of it, or the defensive version, the one with all the barriers and the one with 40% skull reduction. And then there's the spell reduction version of it, which is Plague Lord. So Titan, Plague Lord, and Sentinel. Titan is the best over... stream, stop going down. Come back, stream. There we go, we're back. Anyways. What was I saying? So, there's 3 of them. Titan has the best overall speed, which is one of the reasons why it's mainly used. However, Sentinel and Plague Lord do have their benefits. The benefits of Plague Lord is it has the most barrier of any hero class in the entire game, having barrier at start of battle, barrier every brown, and barrier at a 25% chance to a random ally per turn. And other than that, it also has 40% score reduction, which is tied at the highest amount of score reduction that any troop currently has. I mean, any hero class currently has, I should say. That's its main benefits. The biggest downside that has, though, is it does not have half mana start. The biggest benefits of Plague is it has the highest amount of disease of any hero class, which does make it so the enemy gains less mana. It still has Barrier every Brown, which is basically what makes a Titan hero class, or, you know, kind of. It does have a half mana start on it naturally. It ends up helping it to actually still have a decent offensive. And the biggest bonus that it actually has, even though it's not necessarily always used for it, is it does have an option for Doomstorm. So while still having similar benefits, you can end up having a Doomstorm to try wiping out your team. And has a bit more of an offensive versatility to it. But for the most part, Titan's still better for its offense. But whenever you're just using a, with all of its spell reduction that it has, between its disease and direct 20% spell reduction, if you're using it in something like third slot, it's sometimes actually better using Plague than it is to use Titan. Just depends on the situation. Because it's a lot better against surviving against cast damage compared to Titan. So if the opposing team is almost entirely going to kill you off of casting, then it's actually better use Plague. Because not only do they gain less mana from the disease, but they also do less damage to you. Because the spell... Yeah, the stream has dropped like 5 times in the last few minutes. For like half a second. As I say that, it dropped again. And we're back again. I don't know what's up with that. Doing it all of a sudden. It was pretty good for most of the stream too, and now it's just randomly starting to do it. I honestly have not the slightest clue what causes that. Yeah, we've dropped 1.5% of frames apparently. A lot of frames to be dropping. But yeah, I have no clue what's causing that. Especially so randomly in the middle of nowhere. Middle of a stream. Let's see. Grab, let's take that for now. Oh, and never mind, I just died. That works. Oh no, it's on my end, most likely. Okay, let's see. Go get a Sunbird there. Damage down. I think I'm pretty close to level 58 on that. Yeah, we'll likely keep going until we hit 60 on it. As long as the connection holds up. Is there a good reason for deck building other than general Google? Getting lots of cards you've heard about, but not sure how to team them? Let's see. Oh, is there a good resource? My bad, I misread that. Is there a good resource for deck building other than general Google getting lots of cards? Normally, you would just want... There's no actual tool that really helps with specifically team building. There's things that keep track of like your amount of upgrades on everything and other stuff like that. But I don't think there's any specific tool that like helps you build a proper team out there, unfortunately. Because what's required for a proper team can vary quite drastically depending on what you're trying to build for. Yeah, Gems of War database has like a way to share teams and stuff like that, as well as it keeps track of all the loot that you need to max out everything that you need, and some other detail like that on gowdb.com, which is just gemsofwardatabase.com. It's abbreviated into all the first letters. But there's that website. But other than that, there isn't really much that would help you in that regard. Other than maybe asking on the Gems of War forum or just in general. But it's not really like a tool that helps build teams. Which does remind me, I need to cover, that's another thing I need to cover a video on. Third party, I've covered it a couple times in the past, I haven't recently though. Third party tools. There are a few of them out there. Gems of War database is probably my personal favorite, even though I personally don't use it that much these days. But out of all of them that have ever come up, it's probably the one I'd say is the most useful. That in Terran's World thing, because that has all the spoilers. Actually, that one I probably use the absolute most these days, just because it has a lot of game assets and it makes it really easy to go retrieve them from there. And it also has what's it called? It also has all the spoilers for upcoming stuff, which is probably the most important part about it. Probably why almost everyone uses it, or you know, well, why anyone would even use it in the first place, for mainly those spoilers. And they grab it directly from the files of the game. Pretty up to date. They update it pretty much every day, or at least any day that's relevant to update it. Like on Monday, they'd probably have it updated within a few hours after the event going live. Okay, I'll move that over. Sunbird down. And he's dead. Luckily, we're getting a lot of one-shots now. Keep that up. A lot of Fallen Valduses. Oh, never mind. I was just showing the image. I was gonna say. Let's see. Grab that down. So it would make sense. We are in the kingdom where she resides. Oh, I was gonna take that, but there we go. That works too. There we go. One would think that it is what your guild is for. Help you build. Yeah, you can use your guild too. Assuming everyone's about at the same level of play. You can just ask your guild. Though, of course, later game players might be able to help too at lower level players. But not always. Because most late game players haven't really played early game in ages. I'm not pretty sure most of them don't bother making new accounts that often. I have at least once per year so far. And there's been multiple years that we've done multiple. Actually, this is the only year so far, I believe, that we've only ever made one account. And that was the Nintendo Switch account, of course. And I'm probably not making any other accounts beyond that point. Nintendo Switch will just be our alt account whenever we need to ever do another account. For any reason. Oh, did I miss some kind of sarcasm? What did you say? But yeah, I might miss sarcasm. It's hard to tell in text. So I'm pretty bad with sarcasm in general. It's because I always take everyone so seriously. Let's see. Let's take a skull for now. And it was Sunbird kill, wipe his entire team. Yeah, you can ask your guild for help. It's just sometimes they might not help you. Sometimes you need other resources. Because if you're in an early game guild or a mid game guild, your guild might not be that helpful for help. Because they might know less than you. It's also a sign you might need to get into a bit better guild. If that is the case. There we go. I was just about to say we're should be at 58 very soon, and there we go. 2 more levels to go. At least for now. Technically we have 62 more levels, or 42 more levels to go. But for now, 2 more levels. Oh, that is not the move I wanted. Yeah, that's why you guys have me. Pretty much. There's other locations as well as like the Gems of War Forum, global chat and stuff. But yes, I can answer them occasionally. Try to when I can. If anyone else still has any other questions, let me know. Be here probably for another 40 minutes? About 40 minutes. That's about how long it would take to gain 2 more levels. You need to go gain another, what is that? About 117 EXP more. And that's at this current win rate only takes about 40 minutes, 2/3 of an hour, approximately, give or take. Let's see. No problem, Tempoclad. Glad I could help. What would be the optimal difficulty level for completing challenges? Warlord 3 or Warlord 2, ideally. Or shall you rush through them on normal? I've always had mixed on that. Personally, I've always been just doing them on normal on my other account. Actually, what I've been doing on my other account as a strategy is I've only been doing the challenges for 2 reasons. One is if I needed it for star levels, I would go do the challenges. But the main thing I've been using challenges for, oddly enough, is to do daily tasks. Whenever it tells you to go use like something useless, like hey, go use 3 beasts in a team and do that like 15 times and you get 10 gems, stuff like that. I've been using challenges for. And basically what you do is you go to every single challenge on like level 1, level 2, and you just progressively keep going higher as you get more stats. But you do it on normal difficulty and you just use it as like a one-shot quick wipe for all of your challenges while you still have lower stats in early game. So I just keep going around to all the 1-star, 2-star challenges and simply using them for quick daily tasks. That's what I've actually been using them for. And then you just one-shot wipe every single one, and yeah, you get your daily tasks done pretty quick. I haven't been doing daily tasks every single day on it. I've actually been missing quite a few of them actually. But it does get them done really, really quick. Even if you don't have that high stats. Even without level 10 all kingdoms, that would still work. But yeah, as far as optimal challenge difficulty, it's either normal, Warlord 2, or Warlord 3. It really depends which way you're going about it. And the reason for Warlord 2 or Warlord 3 is, of course, challenges do give a one-time soul amount, and difficulty does affect the amount of souls that you gain. And if you can quickly one-wipe it on something like Warlord 2 or Warlord 3, it is worth putting it that high. However, most of the points where you would bother doing challenges within the game, you wouldn't have that much damage output. most likely. Later in the game you would, but you'd probably already have them upgraded by then, because 6 Star Kingdoms requires all challenges within the kingdom to be completed. And there should be a match. Get the other whip. Oh no, stream! Come back! Stop it! Well, it stopped for a while, but now it's doing it again. That random, like, 1 second disconnects. I hate that. Also, our gnome rate still hasn't been that bad. Definitely not, like, Vault Event level high, but, hasn't been that low either. We keep getting a low loot, though. The stream actually stayed up? That's weird. Yeah, sometimes it only cuts out for, like, a second, so if you, like, blink, that's pretty much, like, the duration at which it cuts out for. And if I'm not talking at that given moment in time, it probably looks like it did even go down. Our challenge is good for soul farming. Kind of. They give an okay amount of souls initially. However, once you own Fairish Raw, it's actually quicker just running Fairish Raw in over the same challenge over and over again than it is to just run different challenges, oddly enough, because of how much of a soul gain Fairish Raw has. Do keep in mind, Fairish Raw's soul gain does not affect the end souls of that. Same as Necromancy. Don't bother using like a bunch of Necromancy troops or anything like that. It does not affect the loot that you get from those casket things at the end of challenges. The only thing that affects that is the armor you're wearing, VIP bonus, your guild statue thing, if you own that soul pet, and if you currently have Ring of Wonder active. But basically everything except the in-game souls. So you having Necromancy on your team or having Fairish Raw on your team does not increase the souls from those challenges. Like anything that boosts that number does not boost the final number for the caskets. Do you remember what that one certain challenge was we used all the time back in the day? What, for Fortress Gates? It's 4 for 5th challenge, Broken Spire. I believe it's 4th challenge, Broken Spire. The one with 0 attack. Not sure what other one you might be referring to. The next 3-day Delve event is next Friday, 1 week from today. And it's going to be bringing in, most notably, a elemental troop that will give half mana start to all elementals. Which is obviously going to be really good with things like the Infernus and Obsidius and stuff like that. The other relevant part about it is a 4 times cursed into Skull Spam, Doom Skull Spam actually. And that 4 times curse is the first 4 times cursed in the entire game. Has the ability to curse the entire enemy with a cast. And that's going to be really potent with Obsidius for 2 reasons. One is it's a 4 times curse that you can then do into 4 times stun, which is the best trait disabled in the game. And the other benefit is, even if it didn't have that, it has half mana start on all elementals. And Obsidius is elemental, Furnace is elemental, and several other somewhat decent troops, like even Sunbird and Firebomb and stuff like that, are elementals. More so Sunbird being the relevant part of that. For example, we could replace Forest Guardian with that new troop if we wanted to, instead of running Forest Guardian. And that actually would be better if we were running a hero class that's maxed out like Titan. So you'd almost never need to do it like that, because you would normally be leveling a hero class if you're bothering using a team like this. It's one of the whole points of even using this team. But if they ever add an elemental hero class, it's going to be really solid with the new 50% start. Unfortunately, I don't think we're getting one anytime soon. Next hero class is going to be Merlantis Merfolk. And that's coming sometime, I believe, early next month. Yeah, next faction is next Friday, 1 week from today, 17th. But yeah, that fourth challenge, fourth challenge, Broken Spire, they used to get farmed for treasure map farming mainly, with like Tyree teams, and you can still do that. It's just not really worth it these days, especially since they added a multi-buy option for maps now. So now you can buy 100 maps within seconds, rather than having to click 100 times or over 100 times. You'd have to click like 300 times because you'd have to click multiple times through each window. But now you can do so within a matter of just a few clicks. Way quicker than it used to be. Like right now, if we wanted to go buy 100 maps, let's see, if we just go down right here, it'll take like 5 seconds. Let's see. Should I go get a timer for it now? The amount of time it'll take to get the timer up is less time than it'll even take. But all you have to do is just click on shop, click on glory rewards, click on maps, click this twice, boom, and then click the button. And you just got yourself 100 maps. Whereas before you'd have to buy a map, and then click, and then map, and then click, and then map, and then click, and then keep doing that 100 times, which is way slower. So there's not much of a need to really map farm anymore, because you can just really cheaply buy all the maps you ever need with glory within seconds, assuming you have the glory. Doing maps in the past were better and easier before they nerfed it. How'd they nerf it? They've only ever done buffs, from what I recall, to Treasure Hunt. I don't recall anything ever nerfing it, other than how gem spawns spawn onto the board. I guess technically nerfed it some, but that was across the entire game of how gem spawns come onto the board, or how gems fall to the board and stuff like that. I'm not even sure how much that actually even affects Treasure Hunt, though. Because that mostly only affects when you're up against AI. Because it makes sure that you try to never get... it makes sure that your amount of luck is relative to the AI's. Basically, if you're getting a lot of luck, the AI will get a lot of luck. But if you're not getting a lot of luck, the AI normally wouldn't. You were never able to gain more than one extra turn off of Cascades. That has never been a thing ever, from what I recall. Yeah, that was never a thing. You can never multi-extra turn off of Cascades. Even when it was first introduced, that wasn't possible. You'd still get the loot converted into bigger loot, but never did it give multiple free turns, or never would it give multiple like extra runs. Like getting 5 times in a row would only give you 1. It's always been like that. Unless I'm just forgetting, but I'm almost guarantee that never was like that. What's my opinion on Silent Sentinel? It's pretty underwhelming, unfortunately. It's really only brought out for doing pure faction within Hall of Guardians. You use it for almost nothing, because it's just pretty weak. Generally, any troop where its sole purpose does not give you anything at all, like if it's only for durability, or to disable out the enemy, or mainly, actually disables are normally okay. But basically, if a role of a troop is only to survive, it is normally pointless. And that's basically what Silent Sentinel is. It just stays in first slot and tries to never die. And troops like that are normally useless. Unless it has some kind of really good disable attached to it, or some kind of extra mana accumulation that's really good or something. Like, Divinia is a troop that kind of works like that. However, it has so many other benefits that it's actually worth it. Because even though it gives a bunch of life to your team, which normally doesn't actually give you damage, it does have a lot of mana accumulation. It has the random stats effects for any good positive stats effect in the entire game. And that HP can be converted into damage on some troops, like on Sunbird, on Yagway most notably, and Ketris and stuff like that. Yes, Warden hero class is one of the worst hero classes in the entire game. That is correct. It is among one of the worst. It has completely abysmal traits and pretty bad perks other than the fact that it has Rogue Tree. Aside from Rogue Tree, it basically has nothing of relevance. Yes, Warden is one of the worst hero classes in the game. Probably bottom 5, somewhere's in there. Pretty much every hero class we have other than Warlord is one of the worst hero classes in the game. Because, and I guess technically Shaman to some degree. But why do I keep going there to try to get to hero? Getting it's over here now. Still on Nintendo Switch, it's in that location. Not on this version. Yeah, pretty much every single one we don't have maxed are like all the really useless ones. Like Dervish, unless they add a monster that has 50% start, that's going to be pretty much useless for most part. However, it will be relevant once they do finally add a monster with 50% start. Knight hero class is pure useless, arguably the absolute worst in the entire game. Oracle's pretty bad. You would just use Bard in 100% instances almost, unless you're running a really specific 4x Centaur team. Shaman, there's just no good Taurus energy for it currently. However, it does have potential into the future. Sunspear only has Red Storm, so pretty bad unless you're using that. But yeah, Warden, probably the worst 3 here is War Priest, Warden, Sorcerer. Let's see. War Priest, Warden, Sorcerer, Oracle, and Knight are the worst hero classes in the game overall. There's 5 right there. Anyways, let's keep grinding. While we're here, actually, I'm now going back to it. But while we're still kind of here, oh yeah, we're still almost there. We need another 20 for there, and then we need another 60, so we need 80 more EXP, so we're almost there. Go get 80 more EXP then. Should take under 30 minutes. We should be able to get it done by maybe the end of this hour. We go quick enough. Why am I grinding Warlord? Didn't I max it out a while ago? No. I am nowhere near maxing Warlord. We're at 58 on Warlord. I do want to max it though. It has the highest skull damage, or it has the highest skull damage value of any hero class. Technically, Assassin, depending on how you look at it, actually has overall more damage because of its instant kills. But if you're looking at the sheer number that it hits, Warlord actually has the highest of any hero class. Though normally you use Dragon Lord because, or I keep saying Dragon Lord, Dragon Guard, because it has better survivability. And normally in the locations that you'd bother using it are things like Guild Wars and stuff. So you wouldn't really need it. Use Warlord. However, if you're running Rush Burn teams and PvP, Warlord is actually better than Dragon Guard because you don't need to survive in PvP. So Warlord actually is better than it for something. And it is currently the best hero class that has triple damage on burning enemies. Be interesting to see how that pans out in an elemental team as well. Too bad it doesn't have that one perk that gives elementals extra magic. That'd be really convenient on it. Actually, none of the triple burning ones have oh wait, never mind, duh. What am I saying? You wouldn't even be able to use both of them simultaneously. Never mind. They're both a level 100 perk. So you wouldn't even be able to use them both at once. Arena is the quickest way of gaining souls on Nintendo Switch version. The only way to gain souls quicker would be to spam if you own Dragon Soul or if you own Fair Shra or if you own both. And in those cases, you basically run Dragon Soul into Triple Warlock or any Necromancy troops, and you throw that into First Challenge Divinian Fields. The reason for that is it's the weakest battle in the game. You can also just run Dragon Soul in general on various teams and just run in like PvP and stuff. But basically just owning Dragon Soul is like one of the best soul farming methods in the game. Like running it anywhere is pretty decent soul rate, while passively doing other stuff. And you just gain souls passively over time. by simply having him on your team. But no, running Dragon Soul into triple Warlocks or Dragon Soul into any team, and any team that ends up incorporating Fairish Ra are all quicker than Arena. But if you don't have any of those options, then yes, Arena is your best method for souls. It normally is for quite a while in early game. Sometimes even into mid game until you get lucky enough to eventually get a Dragon Soul. And you are more likely to have a Dragon Soul way before you own Fairish Ra. Very unlikely you would get Fairish Ra anytime soon. You'd have to craft them either with 4,000 diamonds, which is impossible to even have on Nintendo Switch currently. At least for about another month. And just because you get diamonds at a slow rate over time. And the only other method would be to randomly get them off a key, which would be very unlikely. I'm pretty sure at least one person has gotten them so far. So I haven't seen any copies of it yet. Why are dragons so bad on PC? Oh yeah, they used to be better. The main reason for that is they work better when stats are lower. Also, Submerge hard countered them. But yeah, dragons used to be way better. The biggest issue is Submerge, and they work better with lower stats. So right now on the Nintendo Switch, they actually seem somewhat decent. Because stats are still lower on Nintendo Switch right now, because everyone's lower on Nintendo Switch. The Dragon Soul teams, Christine X teams, you know, stuff like that, still pretty strong. Sylvanimora teams. Well, Sylvanimora is always used for utility regardless. But yeah, Dragon teams aren't really that good on PC Mobile right now. And, you know, every other version other than Switch. And that could change very quickly, though. All they have to do is add a dragon that has 50% mana start. And that would immediately fix that issue. That'd be pretty funny. I know they've mentioned it in the past, but that would actually be perfect if they were to add my troop as my dragon thing as the dragon that has 50% mana start. All dragons. They said they were kind of hesitant to ever do that for dragons just because of they don't want it to happen like how it happened with divines. But I don't know. I feel like they're going to eventually do it for every hero class, or you know, for every type eventually. Anyways, it's only a matter of time before you know everything in the game has the potential of starting with half mana. Obviously, there's still plenty that can't currently do it. To give it another 2 years, and probably everything will have half mana start as a potential option. We'll probably even buff divine back up to 50%. Oh yeah, that's the problem with guilds in general. The top, like, 1% of guilds tend to steal, like, every best player from every guild. How it almost always goes down. There was issue with intellectual property in regard to that. And they still haven't set up, even after all these years, anything to properly do that. It's one of the reasons why they haven't had any crossovers to other games or anything like that with any kind of new content that has come into the game. But it's an intellectual property issue. Oh, the guy that's on the top of the Nintendo Switch leaderboards, they actually stole from your guild. That's unfortunate. Yeah, guilds have done that probably on every platform, to some degree. I know I've lost probably like 5 to probably almost a dozen members actually through that method over time. Any events this weekend? No, there's currently no events this weekend for every version except for Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch has Rune Priest, which is a pretty useless hero class for the most part. Very rarely ever used, and the amount of time it takes to upgrade it, you might as well just not bother. Given how little it's ever used for. Better off just maxing Titan if you haven't already on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, there's no event this week, other than making sure you go complete out all the treasure hunt stuff, which we already did. So right now we're basically just trying to grind out Warlord, because why not? Trying to get to level 60 right now. There's only one more level at this point. Does double Warlock work? Yes, Warlock stacks. Necromancy stacks. Almost everything in this game stacks to some degree. And that does actually stack additively, so you do actually get a full 50% for each one. So 2 of them is 100%. Yeah, sometimes things stack differently, but that does stack to its full amount. But yeah, it's weird some things how they don't or do. For example, Jinx, which has a enemy's a mastery, that does not stack additively. 2 of them will not be 100%. Actually, 2 of them is barely even 50%, oddly enough, because it only reduces the mastery, not the... Or, sorry, it reduces the total number, not the actual percent. So you would kind of think logically that a Jinx, which has their mastery, would do something like, if they have a 60% chance to surge, it would lower it to 30%. That is not what it actually does. It just halves that number. So it has a number that goes into a formula. Let's say that the number is currently 200, and then it gets reduced to 100. I'm not sure exactly what those values would be, but it would go down from like 60% down to like 45 or so. It's really weird how it actually works. And 2 Jinxes don't even do it like the full 100% reduction. It just does a 50% and then 50% on that 50%. And other things like that, or like scroll mitigation, like with potions. The Nintendo Switch doesn't currently have it, but like with potions, if you were to have like 25% scroll reduction and 50% scroll reduction, that is not 75% scroll reduction. It does both of them independently. Same as how dodge works on Dervish hero class. It does a 30% roll and then a 20% roll for its dodge. It's not actually 50%. It comes down to about 44% for its dodge, even though it's a 30 into a 20. Yeah, some things do stack. Like Necromancy stacks for its full amount. 250% Necromancies is 100% soul increase. Same as Farish Ra, 250% is 300% soul increase. Cedric stacks, 200% gold increases is 200% gold increase. And a few other things also stack. If you have any other questions about them specifically, let me know. Because I believe I know every single one as far as which ones do and do not stack. You kind of just learn them naturally over time. Most of them become pretty obvious pretty quick which ones do and don't. Let's see. Have I stolen any other good players from other guilds? I haven't for my guild, for when I created my guild, about 3 years ago. However, I think I might have once or twice for matchers, because we were the #1 guild in the game for about a year or so, back when I was in that guild. I wasn't the main person for recruiting, but I did assist with it occasionally, and I know they would do it on occasion. It wasn't that often, but yeah, they have done in the past. So I probably assisted in that to some degree. But no, I've never done it for my main guild. The one that I'm currently in. Throw that down. And then we Sunbird wipe it. Oh, don't get a barrier. What are you doing? Gonna live now. It still has the potential of more barrier. Oh no, more barrier. That's not good. What do we do about that? I have to just get that mana up just so I can poke it. Let me do that just to make sure it dies. So then again, it would have died regardless. And down it goes. Oh no! This really doesn't want to go down today. And I would take that skull. There we go. How does one obtain imp troops without Soulforge? They're available during various seasons of the month of the year. I mean, there are 6 imps. Each one lasts for 2 months. From December to January, it is the Winter Imp. From February to March, it is the Imp of Love. From April to May, which is right now, it is the Spring Imp. From June to July, it is the Summer Imp. From August to September, it is the Autumn Imp. And from October to November, it is the Spooky Imp. And during those 2 months periods, each of those imps are the only imp in the drop table, and they drop just like how a legend would normally drop. They're in the Glory Gem Guild and VIP chest. And yeah, you just randomly get them instead of as a normal legend. They're the same drop rate as any other legend during those durations. You can get them in Soulforge during any time of the year. However, if you specifically want to get them via keys, you have to get them within that time period. So currently, the only one you can get right now is Forest Guardian via keys. That's applicable to all versions of the game, including Switch. Spring Imp actually is one of the better ones. It entangles all enemies, which is somewhat relevant. Out of all of them, the 3 most relevant are actually all back-to-back, oddly enough. The Winter Imp, the Imp of Love, and the Spring Imp are the 3 best imps of the 6. And out of all of them, either the Spring Imp or the Winter Imp would be the absolute most useful. Winter Imp because it has decent true damage. Those are normally better options out there. And Spring Imp because it's a 4x entangle for only 12 mana. With no entangle onto yourself like how Leshy does. Yeah, it's completely random. And the same chance of getting a specific legend is the same chance of getting that. I don't believe the drop rate is any higher. It should be exactly the same as like any normal legend drop. What happened to other match 3s I've streamed from time to time? Well, some of them were Puzzle Quest games, and those are basically just Gems of War. They were basically the beta of Gems of War, kind of. Or, you know, they were the more RPG-like versions of it. They were older games. And there's a few other ones I picked up here and there in the past, but most of them were just really small games that just didn't seem like they were really going anywhere. But no, Puzzle Quest 3, we are going to be playing Puzzle Quest 3 a lot whenever it launches. It's probably not coming out till like 2020, 2021, 2022. They're being pretty secretive about it, but they're almost guaranteed working on it right now. There's almost 100% chance they are. Especially since Salty keeps kind of unintentionally spoiling the fact that they are by misspeaking sometimes. But there's almost 100% chance they're working on Puzzle Quest 3 right now. When it will release is completely up in the air. It could be years until it releases. But there's a good chance they're working on it to some capacity. But yeah, we'll be playing that game probably a lot when it launches. Not sure what kind of features it will have, but if it's anything like Puzzle Quest 1 and 2, it should be a pretty good game. Especially if it's like Puzzle Quest 1. And they've been able to learn from Gems of War from the last several years, so it should be a pretty decent game. They're probably waiting until next gen before they release it, because they're probably going to want to release it on PS5, whatever the next Xbox is, Twitch, and all that kind of stuff, as well as Steam and the obvious, you know, normal locations. And it should hopefully have no microtransactions. Though with how they've been going lately, who knows? But I don't know. None of the Puzzle Quests, other than Marvel, but that's like its own thing. But none like the baseline Puzzle Quest games have ever had microtransactions. I don't believe this one will. Probably won't know until it gets closer to that point. And if it does, it might only have it for multiplayer. The single player aspect likely wouldn't. Also, we don't even know if it'll have multiplayer. Puzzle Quest 1 and 2 had like a mini multiplayer kind of thing where you could like fight friends and stuff. But it didn't really have like a designated multiplayer aspect to it. Whereas Puzzle Quest 3 might. But we know basically nothing about it. We don't even know if it's in development, though it probably is. Yes, Valkyrie is decent alternative to Ferris Raw. I mean, to Dragon Soul, I mean. Definitely if you don't own Dragon Soul, but you do own Ferris Raw, it's definitely worth using Valkyrie. Or consider using it. But using like Valkyrie with triple Warlocks, that's okay. But you're better off just doing Arena at that point. Yeah, it comes down to preference. I used to use Valkyrie way more than I used to use Dragon Soul. But the biggest benefit that Dragon Soul has, and actually overall increases its rate per hour, you can run Dragon Soul on Warlord 2 difficulty on first challenge of Indian Fields. And that's what? I think that's 75% extra souls, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 50 or 75%. I'm pretty sure it's 75%. And that's a lot of extra souls compared to 0% extra souls. And the reason why Dragon Soul can do that is 3 Dragon Soul casts, regardless of what your team is, regardless of what point you are in the game. The second you own Dragon Soul, 3 Dragon Soul casts will wipe out first challenge of Indian Fields on Warlord 2 difficulty. And that's 75% extra souls, which overall makes it quicker than using Valkyrie, which normally has to run on normal difficulty or hard difficulty. Unless you have really high stats, but you won't have that till later in the game. And by then, you'd probably have Ferris Raws. Yeah, as long as it doesn't have pay to win. But no, I'm pretty sure it won't have microtransactions. They're probably going to DLC it to death. But it most likely won't have microtransactions. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Puzzle Quest 2 actually have no no, it definitely didn't have microtransactions. But didn't it have no DLC? I know that Puzzle Quest 1 did have DLC. But I don't think Puzzle Quest 2 did. I actually never played Puzzle Quest 2 to completion, oddly enough, as well. Oh no, I honestly did not care for Puzzle Quest 2 as much as I liked Puzzle Quest 1. It wasn't a bad game, it just... Puzzle Quest 1 just did everything so perfectly. They also went for a really weird visual style in Puzzle Quest 2. They also did boards that were bigger than 8x8, which made the game feel quite a bit different in a good way as well. But it made some battles just elongate way longer than they need to. Like some battles would take like 10-15 minutes. It was because of how much life it would have and how big the board was. Harvest Moon again. There hasn't been a Harvest Moon game released for a while now. Like an actual, like, really proper one. The closest thing we've had in recent years is Stardew Valley, which is one of the reasons why it has sold, like, millions upon millions upon millions of copies. But no, the next big game I'll probably be picking up is, as far as actually streaming on this channel, is probably going to be Mario Maker 2. And then after that, for sure, 100% Darkest Dungeon 2 whenever it's being released in beta or however it's coming out. I still haven't looked into that, but I definitely need to get into that. Not sure if they're initially doing it to just streamers. I believe it's just a general beta that you just buy into. I don't think it's private beta or anything like that. But whatever it is, I actually do need to look into that. Whatever it is, I do want to get it as soon as it's available. Because Darkest Dungeon is my favorite roguelike ever. Even though it's considered more of a roguelite, but still, it's a really solid game. Are we gonna play Stardew Valley again? I'm not sure. I've played through it several times through. Haven't really messed with multiplayer much though. But I don't know. I think I've played it for most of its value that I could really get out of it for the most part. That's died to run the burn. Oh, so we should be getting that level in like 5 minutes or so. Should be like right on top of it, like it does more XP or less. Just gonna double check exactly. That would have been perfect if that would have been a level right there. We get our tribute as well. Also, we're starting to get a nice, decent amount of gems, especially since we didn't really have to spend that many this week. It's a Guild War week. So, yeah, not much gems need to really go down for that. Though I did spend a little bit more than normal because we're Paragon, so I spent like, what was that? I think 300 more gems than I normally would on it. But still, that's not really too big into our stack. And, yeah, we're starting to get a nice little reserve again. We didn't really need to spend any this week, and we just get pure profit from it. But anyways, what was I looking for? Especially since there's not even an event this weekend. What was the other thing I was about to go do? Oh yeah, check Warlord. How close are we on this level? Let's see. Yep, I was about right. Not exactly 12, 14 to go. And that'll be that. Go get this 14 XP. Is it actually only $2? Oh wait, what's that? Islander. See, I have not seen this game. I haven't actually been bothering with many Steam games. Let's see. Oops, let me mute that. Oh wow, that actually looks really similar. Asset-wise. Let's see. Interesting. Doesn't seem like it has much of a town aspect, though. It seems like you just get your island and you just kind of grow it. I'm not sure. It doesn't have as much depth, doesn't look like. Like, it still has the same core gameplay, but most of the depth to it just seems like it's not there. Yeah, for only $2, it does seem pretty decent, though. From that little preview thingy. That does remind me, I need to go sell all my old Dota 2 stuff still. I know some of it's retained value, some of it has gone down like to almost nothing. But I have probably a couple $100 worth in Dota 2 stuff still laying around I need to go sell. So I can basically just use that money to infinitely buy Steam games whenever I need to. I actually used to do that while I was in college, so I didn't have to ever pay for games. Though they've made it so much more complicated to do anything through the market. That's just really annoying to have to deal with. I do need to go sell some of them, like my bigger items that I have. Even just selling a few of those like bigger items. I have a few of them that are worth almost $100 actually. That I got for actually a little bit cheaper than that, luckily. Some of them have gone up. Most of them went down though. It's because I haven't been following the markets for the last few years, because I haven't been bothering with it. But I did make several hundred in free money just for various Steam games during college, just from just looking at it here and there. Throughout all of college, I never paid for a single game, just because I got them all for free just from putting several hundred in initially. I think I put in about 500, yet got overall a little over, I want to say 1,200, somewhere around there. I never kept track of exact numbers. All I know is that I never had to pay for a single game for like 2-3 years. Just from the items I was flipping. What was my major? Oh, I only went for a general associate's degree because I was just doing it for transfer credits. I never bothered going any further than it though, due to the cost of college. But in New Jersey, as long as you finish a degree, every college within the state has to accept 100% of your credits. So I just finished a really cheap associate's degree off of a community college, and it was still expensive, but compared to American prices, it was cheap. But I basically just did that for the general credits and everything. So if I ever wanted to go for a full degree, that I'd just be able to transfer those over. But I just never bothered doing that. I was mainly just getting like all the mandatory classes out the way. That's pretty much what I was doing with that. If I ever do go back, it'll probably be for, I don't know. If I ever did go back, I kind of almost would want to become a therapist or something. But, I don't know, it just doesn't pay that much. I think the average therapist is like, what, 40,000, 50,000 a year? Or something like that. And that's after like several tens of thousands up front to get the degree. Plus a couple years of having to go back to school. Become a match 3ist. I think we technically kind of are. We kind of already are. That's basically exactly what I did after college, actually. It's like, okay, I have almost no skill sets. What skill sets do I have? Well, I'm good at Gems of War. And I'm good at writing. So that's basically became everything that I did after college. Freelance writing here and there, and every now and then, and mainly just trying to grow this channel and stuff. And during college, I mainly just did flea marketing. And also, as I mentioned, flipping stuff on... I did a lot of flipping. I was doing eBay, I was doing Steam, so I never had to pay for games. And I was doing flea markets. Those three things simultaneously. Not a single one of those three I do anymore, though. Oh, I was about to say, how did we not gain a level yet? I wasn't even paying attention because we were chatting and everything. But we already gained level 60. There we go. But you know, does anyone else have any other questions or anything you want me to go over? Because I guess we'll start wrapping up the stream for now. We will be back later tonight, though, same time as always, as we are every night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 7 hours from now, later tonight, as well as every night. But yeah, we're mainly just going to be doing Brown Guild War and probably mess around with Delves. You have Runic Blade on Switch. How do you arena super quick? Seems slow still. You normally have to skull poke into kill range or have something that has a quick cast, like a Musketeer or something like that. Lower them to kill range, throw Runic Blade, and then one-shot everything. Yes, it's not the quickest of methods. Runic Blade is not supposed to make arena quick. It's supposed to make it so you have basically 100% win rate. It's not supposed to necessarily be a quick weapon unless you happen to get something on the opposing team that's really easy to kill, or you get something recruited onto your team that can lower them into kill range very easily. But the main purpose of Runic Blade is just to make sure you never lose, and that you win at least at a decent rate of speed. But it's mainly for the never losing aspect of it. Of course, you still can theoretically lose with it, but it greatly, drastically reduces that chance, even if you have a bad draft. But no, it's not like an instant auto quick win. That would be Dawnbringer, if you were looking for that. But, now Runic Blade's just one of the slightly better weapons. There's other weapons you could still use. It's not like it's the only weapon. You can still use Black Manacle. In some instances, I guess even Mang is okay, though probably a little bit too slow. Like Black Manacle, Runic Blade, and actually those are like the only few. Anything that tends to have really good AoE or any good secondary effect that works good with really low stats. Like anything with high boost ratio and stuff like that. Yeah, does anyone else have any other questions? Otherwise, I guess I'll be heading out for now. Thank you all so much for coming down. I'll be back, as I mentioned, later tonight, 7 hours from now. Is AoE, like, mechanics faster than Runic? Just riskier? Depends on your draft. You would have to see what you draft and see if your color fits. Like, obviously, you wouldn't necessarily use black manacles if your team is using another brown purple. But, yeah, more often than not, I would say AoE is better. It's one of the reasons why Dawnbringer is so decent in it. Normally, if you're going to try going for one to AoE, something like Dawnbringer would be... something like Black Manacles, if you don't own Dawnbringer, would probably be the way to go. Out of all the AoE weapons, it has the highest chance. Plus, if you get a Devour on its 20%, it's basically auto-win at that point. But anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. Leave a like if you enjoyed the stream. I'll be back later. And hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye, everyone. Oh, sorry, one other question before we go. First new account tasks are level Titan and level Kingdom to 10. Yes, pretty much. The first things you want to do when you're first starting out is level every single Kingdom to level 10, max out Titan to level 100, with 40 being the most important milestone of it, because then you get Barrier every round, and get that fully traded as well. But yeah, get level 10, all Kingdoms, get Titan maxed by constantly using it for every battle that you ever do, and start to try to find yourself into a better guild. That'll be a little bit hard if you're on any platform other than Nintendo Switch, but on Nintendo Switch, it should be a little bit easier even if you're in early game. But normally, to get into a really good guild on any other platform, you would have to be at minimum level 10 all Kingdoms, and normally they want you to be like level 500, level 1000 or something else if you're going for one like the really high requirement guilds. But on Nintendo Switch, it's a lot easier probably to get into bigger guilds at the moment, since not as many players, and most players that are playing don't have as much progress. So any progress that you'll have makes a lot more of a difference on that platform compared to any other, since the other ones have been around for years, and Nintendo Switch is not even at the 2-month mark yet. It's only been like, what, a month and a week or so. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you all later. Thanks for stopping by. Bye, everyone.